Go.
Right, cool. So, when last we left our... I can't speak today. When last we left our heroes, you guys had just come up to the top of the cliff face after finally hunting down and killing the Shadow Mastiff, running into a kobold nest in the same cave, and heading up through the mountain to fight some cultists with a party of said kobolds worshipping the gleaming dragonborn Reaver, who they perceived as an actual dragon as opposed to a humanoid person. You came up to a stone plateau, kind of windswept and covered with like snowdrifts, and you see a desperate battle between a group of these kind of robed bird people hurling kind of eldritch magic at this figure in armor wielding a blade seemingly made of pure light. And as you kind of spent most of the last session fighting said cultists, and you didn't do too bad. You didn't do too badly actually. None of you went down, so all right. Currently, you're standing amongst the corpses of the dead cultists.
Nice.
I think a couple fell through the holes. There were a few kind of drop plates where you see when it's when the snow's been brushed off of it, you see that they're covered in runes and symbols, and when you step on them, after a few seconds they just disappear into a bottomless pit. And you saw a couple of the cultists, if not while living, when their bodies hit the floor, fall through the floor. But other than that, most of the dead are still around, and you came up to Pester, the person in armour, who is. I'll give her another brief.
Did you say Pester?
Yes. Well, basically, you came up like, hello, what are you doing? I was mainly Lucifer, but you guys kind of what are you doing here?
Just that pose as well.
No, him and Lucifer did. Reaver tackled Lucifer because he was trying to hit on it.
I was trying to get that dick until I realised it was a vagina.
Just to say, Krook's not interested
I
in
want
Krook.
the pistol.
Krook's taking heads of all the cultists that are still there now.
Right.
I heard I wandered off. Am I back now?
Oh, you didn't wander off. You just kind of
were kidnapped.
You have that religious symbol, wasn't there?
Yeah. So they noticed that you were holding on to. You got a bit distracted.
Just a bit
for a moment. You were still contributing in the fight afterwards. You had a little kind of aside where the other people were like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" And then you were like, "I'll just be over here."
Did I have another episode?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
I'll probably send you the details of that on Discord. I'm dying at the moment. My throat is slowly killing itself.
It'll make good content.
Sure. How many people do actually watch this repeatedly that aren't us?
2, maybe.
I don't know. I don't actually look. I just upload it.
I know Logan does.
I know one of the videos has 21 views, but I'm pretty sure that's just us repeat viewing. So
it's not me repeat viewing.
I don't know.
It's you lot.
Refresh.
Well, it's more I don't know how long you have to watch to count the view. But,
I think it's a minute or 5 minutes or something.
Maybe. Yeah, I did play it to my friends because they were. One of them was asking, "Hey, do you mind if I record this for funsies?" And I was like, "Okay." No different to my other game. I was like, "By the way, here's the link to the podcast." I don't think anyone watched it, really. Anyway, you're currently standing in front of this armoured person, kind of full kind of helm on with this. The armour they're wearing is very odd, as I described last time. The kind of different kind of plates not made of metal or any other material you've kind of really seen, and there's kind of shades of kind of pale pink and teal with this kind of ragged cloak coming off their shoulders in similar pastel tones.
In other words, they look more badass than us.
They look pretty formidable, and judging by their how many cultists they were able to slay on their own during the fight, like they know how to use a sword and whatever the hell the other weapon they were using. You see, kind of like they've got the they currently stood with the kind of luminous blade kind of sunken into the snow on the ground, kind of in a kind of I don't know how to describe that.
Resting position.
Yeah, I guess. They still have the helmet on, which is kind of this full helm with kind of black glass. You think maybe like as a visor so that they can see, but you can't see it. Yeah, they kind of stand there, kind of just passively waiting for you guys to do something.
I'm going to go and loot the bodies that are left.
Okay.
We're going to take the heads of all the ones that are still there.
All right. So you make an investigation check, and I guess make like either sleight of hand or medicine to see how much which of the heads you're cutting off.
17.
The medicine. 12.
12. Okay. So I would say you probably get like most of the heads okay. Like some of them take a bit more hacking than others, and so like they're not quite as clean cut as you'd like. Especially like one of the ones where it's like one of your axes split its fucking skull. That one's not going to be as easy to transport. You find a lot of sacrificial daggers, little wavy knives, similar to the one that you've found and tried to give to Lucifer as he jumped out the window earlier on at the tavern. So you, I think how many of them would have been? I'm trying to remember actually, because there were a few of them. There were a bunch. So the flying ones don't have it, like the vultures. There are 2 shamans, so there's at least, I want to say, probably 5, given that a few of the cultists fell in holes.
Cool.
So you have potentially 5 daggers, if you want. They're not like special particularly, other than that they look wavy. And you also find 11 silver between the bodies.
Yay! I have money again. Where's my money?
Say the heads are the ones I've got mounted on my available spaces on the javelins and on my shoulder pads.
How many javelins do you have?
I have 3.
Okay, you can mount 2 of the heads if you're keeping the Shadow Mastiff then.
I've got the shoulder pads as well.
What's this skull that he's putting off?
Those wouldn't stick as easily.
Spiky shoulder pads!
Sticking off. So I've got 4 more heads.
Yeah, you can
You're
like.
going to smell terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, he already does smell terrible.
I love how that's what you're concerned
Yeah.
about.
Of course it is.
Once they all start rotting, I'm going to be able to burn the skin off them. And the skulls then.
Well, you could say something about like tax them if you want to. Like have it stuffed or something. I don't know. I just don't know how like that works at all, so I'm not going to ask about that. But yeah. So what are the rest of you doing whilst he's butchering bodies
I
and
want-
looting them?
I want to talk to the strange knight. I'd like to ask, why is it that you were fighting these cultists? How did you come to be here?
Not even a hello, just
We've already
Out the
said
question.
hello!
Can I try to persuade her to give me the gun?
Wait, is last session
I
still
have
canon?
+4, so
oh no.
I would say probably yeah.
Okay, cool.
I
So, yeah,
want
we've already
the
said
gun.
Yeah, no, they say in a like the voice is kind of like it doesn't sound quite natural. Like you can tell that there's probably something to do with the helmet is changing the voice in a way. But you kind of hear who's asking through the helmet.
Well, us clearly.
I guess I'll bow and say, I am very well occupied, and as I said earlier, these are my companions. We came to defeat these cultists as we believed they were opening a rift. Possibly intentionally, possibly not.
Okay. They kind of give that a little bit of thought. Yeah, they kind of said, trying to say, I don't know you guys, so they're not like super trusting of you. Yeah, they probably say like, well, thanks for the help, but I don't really need much assistance in that matter. I'm kind of doing my own thing, so it's probably not. You guys probably should be here.
Can I shout from in the middle of looting her bodies, what's your name?
She kind of, well, they kind of like, how?
So I'm like in the middle of looting her body and he's chopping their head off.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, they're kind of like, basically, okay, so the people, the response will probably be people around here know me as Guardian, but you don't need to know me really.
Guardian of what?
Wasn't my choice. That's what they called me.
Pompous.
Yeah, they say like there's more than around here. You know, it's not just these that came out to find me on this plateau.
Do you know if? Well, we are actually looking for a rift. Do you know if there is one nearby?
I've not found one.
Well, we have encountered a beast from the Shadowfell, and a witch who lives down the mountain said that it most likely came for a rift. So
they kind of like cock their head at that, kind of like thinking for a second. Kind of like you kind of hear like people that are close by here, like on the record, that is interesting, but they don't seem to give any other action. I'm trying to think what else they do. Yeah, no, yeah, they kind of like, well, this place isn't safe for anyone really.
No shit.
it is quite cold.
Yeah, I would say this isn't kind of the last of them if that's what you're after. I don't know anything about a rift, but I know something that might have helped cause it. I don't know what they're used for. And you see kind of like they bring up like they see, kind of bring up one of the greaves on their hands, and they see this kind of metal, half crystal, half metal kind of plate on their arm, which they kind of wave their hand over, and you see this kind of projection in the air of, and after some kind of fussing around, you see this kind of image of a kind of like canister with kind of metal glass on the outside, metal holding onto this kind of octahedral crystal, this kind of pink glowing crystal. The colour is kind of muted on this projection, whatever it is. It seems to hang in the air. I don't know what they are, but whatever it is, these cultists seem very interested in keeping them to themselves.
Who's just staring in awe at this like device. It's like, oh, I want it.
Yeah, no, she
I
kind
want
of,
it.
they kind of ignore that. I keep flipping. I did so well most of the last session.
We already know it's a girl.
I know, but I'm trying to.
But our characters don't.
Yeah.
Your characters don't. Your characters have no idea because it's based on
Got
looks.
to stay.
What if Lucifer just asks what's in your pants?
So,
I take several steps away from Lucifer.
I see that.
I
and
just,
sort of
like,
gesture.
push his
If you want
face,
to, if
just
you want
like,
to kill him, you feel free.
To be fair, he's an insane old man. What do you take him for?
what's in your
It's like,
pants?
ignore the old man. It's just like, Reaver's still like pushing his face like away.
He's just rocking, just like, let me get it. Those jimmies.
Oh God.
Yeah, no. So that they kind of you can't really see any expression on their face because obviously it's covered by a helmet. They kind
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the cock of the head is pretty obvious. Like, what?
of, what they pull out the gun. You mean this?
Yes.
None of your business.
Do you want to give it me?
Can I like distract? It's like see if he gets distracted with one of the daggers, just like dangle it in front of him.
I mean, it's up to you if you're distracted by
It's like-
one of the winged daggers
Oh,
when there's a gun.
shiny dagger,
There's a shiny gun.
shiny dagger.
There's a gun.
This is closer,
I already have 2 daggers.
and you can.
One is also a sacrificial dagger.
You-
I want the gun.
It's like you can have it.
Glue all the
This you
all
can
the daggers
have.
together, add the pommel, and then like throw it as like a really shit like throwing star.
That's what I was going to do. I was going to like do that and then just throw it.
Throw it
So
onto
runs
a trap door.
No, that was my idea, but no. I need him alive.
I guess I try and distract Guardian. You say that there are more cultists in the area. Well, we've come up here. This is the only group of them that we found. Are there more on this mountain? Or
Oh, you're not very high up. I'll put it that way. The snow. They reach the snows, but it's winter. Like,
Okay.
there's
are they higher up in the
Excuse me.
mountains then? Mountain?
and in the mountain,
Okay.
not just on top of it.
Inside.
Do we
the
know why they were
caverns.
bothering those little dinosaur things yet?
No, you've no idea.
No, there was
Also,
probably being assholes.
As a point of interest,
Oh.
all the kobolds except for Smick died.
Yeah,
Yeah, we told him.
Yeah.
They were all
Snicky
massacred.
baby.
I'm happy that he survived though.
A couple of them were catapulted off the cliff face by because half the cultists had like an attack that like basically just blasted you away.
Yeah, there was one that
Got-
fired like 2 of them off the cliff.
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible.
It kind of tunnel visioned on. Oh shit, kobolds! Gotta fucking kill the kobolds.
I want to go up and like patch Mick. Like, it's
He
okay.
does-
It's
He kind
okay.
of looks like initially resentful, and then realizes you as that kind of surrenders himself.
He's just like, it's okay, tiny Mick. It's okay.
Kind of like you can see it like he's like sharpening his fork. With like a bit of flint.
Yes.
He looks like he's if you were to with your passive insight, like you think he's planning for revenge. He's gonna go after.
I was
this
going to say,
guy.
it's like, it's okay, we'll kill them all. We'll get revenge.
Man, I'm half tempted to say that if anyone else wants to join the campaign, they have to be Smick.
Yes.
You can go roll now. Good luck.
Get free into this Smick.
Oh my god.
Well, my idea was to try and get Smick to come with us. So,
Yeah, I mean, well, if he doesn't, yeah, we could make you could eventually make him like a return reference to,
Yeah.
like someone that you can order around and will do shit for you, but is not necessarily part of the party.
yeah.
Can he come with us?
I have to convince him first.
And I think these two are the only people that can actually speak to him, unless anyone speaks Draconic.
I can speak awaken mind. So
Oh wait,
Oh,
is the
yes,
Guardian
yeah.
speaking in Draconic?
I can tell.
Oh, the
this
kobold.
one's
Oh, no, Cobalt.
Right, sorry.
Guardian's speaking in common, but
What if I use the weakened mind to try and persuade the guy?
Awaken Mind.
I would kill you myself.
You wouldn't know it's silent. Like there's no evidence other than like it's one way telepathy. So basically he like pings them.
We'll
Hey,
know
good
when the
looking.
Guardian stabs its sword
Eventually.
through them, through him.
Hey, good looking. Give me the gun.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Should we take him back down to his friends?
You mean Lucifer? Yes.
I have no friends. I want gun.
No, he'll stay with us for now.
Gun is friend.
If he wants to, I don't want to force him.
Yeah.
They collapse the projection on their arm and kind of say, well, I've got to be in a different country by nightfall, so I've got shit to do. And they walk up. Like you see, they pick up the sword, which kind of the blade disintegrates into this kind of just metal hilt.
It's basically a lightsaber.
Not quite. It actually has a physical presence. It's supposed to. It doesn't like burn things.
Ah.
It seems to kind of like. It's odd.
Also,
Like,
the thing on the arm is totally a pit boy.
not quite.
Yeah, it's
It
got.
doesn't do the hologram.
Yeah, it's
Cool.
holograph technology.
Yeah.
Hologram.
So that's it. That person's just gonna
What do they do after they get the
dip.
sword?
So basically, like so as they kind of walk off to one side, the sword kind of collapses. They fix it back to their hilt, into their belt. They also kind of holster the pistol, and then you see them pull out the arm thing again, kind of pull up a display, tap some things into it, and they kind of like crouch down on the ground, and you see this kind of surge of magenta light around them, and then you see this kind of beam go into the sky.
So we teleport away, basically.
Yes, that
So
is
they
what-
dipped.
I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna find them
I
one day
want
and
one.
kill them.
Yeah, well, we all do this.
Yeah, exactly.
I just go, I want one.
No, not really.
Yeah.
Valencia was just fixing her hair and her outfit the whole time. She didn't really know what was going on.
Just ignore the person in armour in
Yeah.
the middle.
Probably the most like striking thing about that person was just the sheer amount of technology they had on them.
Hmm.
Like you guys probably like never seen even like one of those things, let alone like 4 or 5 of them on one person. So that's kind of different for you guys, but you are left alone with that new information on the plateau, which has the steps you came up and some steps going elsewhere. What are you guys gonna do?
Do you want to go back to the town and report to Captain Dickhead?
Maybe. Well, is there anything else up here? We're on a plateau on the side of the mountain, right?
There seems to be a path that goes up further, and you don't know where they came from. So
I was going to say, isn't there a path further up?
Yeah.
Go up.
It might be. I mean, because if we go down, we're just going to have to eventually come all the way back up.
We could have a short rest.
Yes, that's probably the idea.
you could do.
Sure. Does that mean we heal?
You can roll hit die to heal if you've got any left. I think you long rested before you encountered the kobolds, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yes, we
Yeah.
did.
So you've got. You should have your hit dice back then. In that case,
Did I use any spells in that fight?
use 1.
What did I use?
Bless, which no one ever uses because Nick hasn't forgot.
My hit dice is 1d8.
Hit die.
1d6.
Oh, I put them in my figure.
Yeah.
Do you think I need 12 with it?
D12.
I've only got
Yeah.
full health.
Right. I was only
True.
on 8.
Yeah, whenever you roll hit dice, you can constitution.
Sorcery points back.
No, I'm not going to use mine.
Constitution.
I'm all good, I'm still full
So I
health.
get 7. Shit, I'm on 15.
I'm on full health, aren't I?
You didn't take any damage, so yeah.
Okay.
I'm wounded still.
Yeah, I mean you can still. So at level 2 you have 2 hit die, so you can roll again.
You
Yeah.
found your dice.
Yes.
One thing I'm
No,
sad about the
one
sorcerer is
less.
you don't get stuff back during rests.
Yeah, that's true.
Right, I've got 6.
If only I wasn't warlock.
Yeah, warlock will
I'm sorry, do you want to prance that like sorcerer privilege elsewhere? You old bitch?
Yeah, but warlock's like one of the most modular classes in the game, and they don't have loads of spells, they get them back really easily, so it kind of balances out.
Unlike Valencia, who has like 5 different spells.
But I can only use 3 a day.
Only 3.
Yeah.
I leveled up and only could actually use 2.
Yeah. However, though, once you get to high level spell slots, all your spells are the highest level when you
Yes.
cast them. So for example, if you cast level 1 spell, the damage scales to whatever level you're at.
Yes.
Technically, I get 4 because I get Channel Divinity as well.
Alright, we get it.
Can
God.
you use a spell slot? Or is it a separate thing? I can't remember.
It's separate.
Because I know some of them burn spell slots. I know Divine Smite does burn spell slots. I can't remember.
Yeah, but that's a spell, not a channel divinity.
Divine Smite is a constant of power.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Did we level up or anything?
You don't know. Basically, so the things that people often forget is that to level up, you have to take a long rest.
Okay.
So you have to go to bed and have like a rest for 8 hours. Before
So
you
in other
decide.
words, we're going back up the mountain.
Yeah. Basically, like
Further up.
yeah, like I find it really odd. Like something in the middle of the battle, like oh you got enough XP, you level up, and suddenly like twice the amount of HP. It's like that makes no sense at all.
Yeah.
You got to actually kind of have a fucking breather, figure out, especially when you take a subclass. It's like oh suddenly I know all these new things. It's like no, you gotta spend some time to figure that out. So yeah, long rest is when you level up. So I'm kind of doing kind of a weird combination of milestone and regular XP, but the XP isn't just for fighting stuff, so it's a little bit odd. If I can figure out a kind of like a uniform way to do it, then I'll like make a list of things you can get XP for, and then we can do it at the end of the session. You guys can actually like track your progress a bit better. If you want to do that, otherwise we can stick to the milestone. It's your choice, really. But yeah.
Right.
So you guys kind of spend an hour camped out on the top of this mountain. It is bitterly cold. The only person that doesn't seem to notice is Kruk, because of his Goliath heritage. No one else here is resistant to cold damage, so
I can literally summon bonfire. So
you can do, yeah. Everyone, I imagine, yeah. Most people are pretty huddled around the bonfire, where this crook is just kind of like poking heads. I imagine.
He's poking a body with a stick.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be a good way to dispose. Yeah, so you actually make some. If you want to, you can make an intelligence check for just funsies. Up to you guys.
is that the big one?
Okay.
What we're rolling for? Sorry.
Yeah, 20.
What are we rolling for? Sorry.
You can make an intelligence check.
Unnatural 20.
I got 8.
So Lucifer, you get the sudden inspiration. If you so desire to get rid of the bodies, those drop holes will be real convenient. All the side of the mountain.
I got an unnatural 1. Brilliant.
Amazing.
What's all this natural and unnatural?
So,
Rolling for intelligence.
I got 11.
If you actually land on 1 or 20, that's a natural. If you roll, say like for intelligence, I've got +1. If I rolled on a 19, that'd be a natural 20.
Okay, I see.
And it's important because natural 20s and 1s are good news and bad news.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got 11.
Basically, if you got a 1, it's a critical failure.
yeah, it doesn't matter so much on saving throws and skill checks, but on attack rolls, a 20 is a critical hit, so you do a bunch more damage. I'm going to use the improved critical rule because it's more interesting, which is you max out the dice, and then you roll another dice, and then you add your modifier. So, for example, for say a dagger, which is a D4, you do a D4 damage. So you do 4 damage plus a D4. You roll on the D4, and then you add your whatever bonus on top of that, which makes crits a lot scarier. But the thing is, enemies also get this crits as well, so it kind of balances out.
Okay.
That's the way I think I'm going to run it, because it's more interesting that way. Usually you just roll and then double whatever your total is, which can be really bad if you roll 1. Because it's like, oh, I critical hit you, but I get 2 damage. That's fun. So, yeah, I'm using a little bit of one for that. I'll make a list of the homebrew rules that I'm sort of using, in case you guys need to refer back to them. But yeah, what are you up to at the moment?
Looking at the path.
I'm going to
I
chuck
guess.
bodies off the side of the cliff.
Yes.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. After that, though, because that probably only takes like 10 minutes or so. There's not very long. They're not very heavy. Like they are birds. They have hollow bones. They're not super. Except for the shaman, who are kind of like a little bit obese. Like there's a lot of fat under those feathers. Like they're chunky boys.
Chunky boy.
I'll throw them.
Yeah, they're like yeah, you don't know why specifically the more powerful ones that are larger, but that seems to be how it scales.
Are you sure we're going to go up the path?
Up to you guys. It's your decision.
I'd rather go up than go back down.
We might as well.
Yes, there is also the other thing that climbing back down is a little bit perilous because you didn't have to. The staircase was dismantled, so you
Yeah, we had to like climb up, but we had to like literally go like that. Up something,
I
didn't
almost
we?
died, so
Yeah.
no.
Only because you went the other way.
I did actually forget about that. That's also where you lost about like half the kobolds. 'Cause despite being little bastards, they don't actually have climbing speeds. They're not that strong either, and they struggle to go up.
Yeah, didn't you fall and I had to catch you?
No,
But
I
nearly
caught
didn't
myself.
Catch you.
Yeah, he managed to use lightning lure in an unconventional way that I allowed because I'd actually forgotten what I would have done if he'd fallen off the cliff. I know now. I had that contingency, but I forgot the time. I was like, oh, I'll be fine. I'll climb the cliff. It's like, nope. But yeah, no. Yeah. So as you got, so I'm guessing you guys have got the steps.
Mm-hmm.
So onto the notes that I prepared for this session. I've actually exhausted the ones here. They're pretty much, unless you go back to the town, they're all done. Yeah, so the steps kind of lead to this kind of gravel path, kind of occasionally interrupted with these kind of slate flagstones. You can see this is definitely like either this used to be like a mountain pass, or this has been maintained recently up to some kind of like trade route or settlement. You don't know, but you kind of wind your way through these kind of like. Occasionally, you see these kind of hardened, snow-covered trees that kind of dig into the rock face. You kind of wind between large kind of sheer faces of rock until that breaks away as you come out onto this kind of gap between two parts of the peaks of these mountains. And as you kind of cross this kind of archway of stone, still covered in snow, off in the distance, can you make perception checks real quick?
Oh dear.
7, 10.
Before I do mine, what about my passive
21.
So
I'm getting good
passive
rolls.
is for. So passive would be like if you weren't expecting something to happen, like. It seems kind of natural that you guys be like looking around, like looking like off, because basically this stone archway, like you can see for miles. Like it's a long way, like even through the like the heavy snow.
Right.
Like active perception is basically you're looking directly at something, but passive is like.
Like it's something out the corner of my eye that I've not.
Yeah.
Okay. 19.
Okay.
21.
So 21,
11.
10, 11.
7. Sorry.
Okay, cool. So.
Save the high numbers for when we fight something, please.
I'm trying.
Yeah. So probably.
Useless right now.
Yeah, probably only Valencia and Burial don't notice this, but as you're kind of off the distance, off to the north, you see kind of clinging to this other mountain, you see this.
If it's that freaking person again.
No, it's not. You see this titanic skeleton, this
Cool.
almost as big as the mountain itself, this huge, kind of only partially decayed, but still ancient looking corpse that's kind of got its hand.
Riva actually says that, she's
the
like,
rock face.
cool.
Yeah, you can see
I
like
wish I could resurrect someone right now.
yeah, well,
Don't
Giant
roll.
skeleton.
I can't remember. I think you need a much higher level resurrection spell than the ones that you would have access to in the next few levels.
At least for stats going.
We can come back when we're level 20.
He's like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
I'm thinking.
We've got a wish spell.
well, I think even Raised Dead has a limit of 10 days. This thing's been dead for like at least 100 years.
I can imagine Lucifer actually trying to try anyway.
It is also miles away. Like you're sitting on like.
That's not going to stop the crazy person.
Very
Yeah,
true.
that's true.
It's not miles away, it's just very small.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like. No, you can see like kind of
That's
like
the smallest mountain
built
I've
up.
ever seen.
built up kind of snowdrifts that have kind of compacted into ice attached to parts of the body, and like. Yeah, they're like.
Can we even like point at it so these two see it? Like, cool, look up there.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
like, yeah, you guys probably see that. Crook, make a history check.
Sure.
Goliath thing.
3.
Okay. So,
Grandpa?
No idea.
Mother.
despite being like descended from like giants, like you're not sure
You
about,
did
like,
pay attention in class.
there is no class. Most
Sorry,
of
it's
the
not
time,
class.
History lesson. History.
But yeah,
Stories at bedtime.
Yeah, that.
pretty much the only thing you would know is this is not a giant. This is something much bigger. Like regular giants, like the biggest you get, and like they're like super rare, are like 30 feet at most. This thing's fucking titanic. Like it's the size of a fucking mountain. That's not a giant. That's something much bigger. That's all you can really get from that.
That's not a giant. That's a massive.
Is it like a
I'm
huge
guessing I can't get its skull kind of quite a bit big.
That's the thing you
The
think of.
skull's bigger than a house, probably.
Probably not less.
So
We can live in it, guys.
Yeah.
That's
Turn
actually
it into
quite
an airship.
terrifying.
Hell yeah.
but yeah. No, it is vaguely humanoid. It has kind of the general arrangement of limbs. But yeah. So yeah, as that's you kind of see that as you kind of cross this kind of stone arch.
I don't know whether to do religion or history. Just to
You
see
can
if I
try.
know what it is. I've got 0 in either one, so.
I would say
Can I go for a history check?
I want to go to.
history would probably be more applicable. Like you could roll.
I'm not
religion,
gonna bother.
but it'd be something very obscure.
Oh, religion.
I'll do
It
history.
would give you different information.
5.
Yeah, you have no idea.
Ooh,
9.
giant skeleton, cool.
9.
Yeah, no, I don't think any of you.
I want to do
You're like, oh,
Religion
that's
check.
really cool.
a 19.
Alright then.
Religion, though.
So,
You knew it was a monk.
so this probably isn't something that you learned from your religious training. This is kind of like a general kind of mythos thing, I guess. Not part of the the pantheon that your god is part of, like not the one that you worship. But there were that like hundreds, potentially thousands of years ago, you remember that there were other gods that were worshipped, and there was some sort of conflict, and you remember the mention of something like Titans, but like you kind of dismissed it as kind of like, well, no one really knows anything about it. Well, it's probably like a myth, as opposed to like something that's happened.
I'm not
actually
interested.
true. But, like, yeah, but like you can't really remember what the content of those kind of stories were, but whatever it is, that kind of matches up with the general description.
Yeah.
Except this one looks a lot kind of more desiccated. Though, like whatever you heard about, they were like a lot more kind of mighty whenever they were described. This one kind of seems beaten and obviously dead. So, but yeah, that's kind of.
Are you sure? As we're walking up, nothing like a finger's not going to twitch.
No.
It's working.
So yeah, that's kind of that's the most notable thing you see on like it takes like a you trek up this trail for like a few hours because like it's a long path up potentially through the mountains, you're not sure, but you haven't found any kind of forking paths that would lead to places where other things would live. But eventually, kind of as you're kind of thinking like, well, thinking about turning back because it's starting to get it's getting close to like nightfall up the mountain, and like but as you kind of near the end of this trail, you see another set of these kind of stone carved
I
steps.
thought you were going to say like another lot of bones from it or something.
No.
But these ones are jiggly.
Christ. Man, I think no. I've never played in a campaign where someone's like had undead giants before. That'd be pretty fucking badass actually. But I don't think that's not what's happening here at the moment. Yeah, you see this as you kind of see these steps kind of cut in the familiar patterns that you saw previously. So this time, kind of either more well kept or just like less under the weather of the environment, but these steps are intact, and you see kind of to one side you see this kind of large, you think iron maybe, it's kind of rusted, this kind of large flagpole with, and the flag at the top is odd, it seems kind of oddly luminous and trails off into kind of transparency and disappears towards the end as it flaps in the wind. But at the top you see kind of this kind of gate, like this kind of archway made out of this, you think like maybe like terracotta, like this, but like green coloured, bizarrely. And either side of the arch you see these two kind of like, probably the best way to describe to you guys IRL as opposed to the characters, we've kind of like almost kind of Aztec style statues, but of birds as opposed to humans, and it's kind of like these kind of stylistically engraved statues with kind of like you think inlaid with some sort of green like maybe jade, and like black parts of like either obsidian or some other like strong dye, and beyond it is this kind of empty courtyard of these kind of green terracotta houses with these kind of mesh windows that with the shutters kind of flying in the wind.
It's empty.
Yeah, you can't like it's almost silent here. Other than the wind, like there's no noise.
I wish to do perception to check if there is absolutely nothing.
I would probably say that'd be investigation if you're going to look through the houses. But which they're obviously this kind of small courtyard of little homes. Lots of them seem to have like they've got like wooden doors, but like some of them are hanging off their hinges, some of them are just flying open in the wind. None of them seem to be kind of like attended in any way. Yeah, if you want to have a look around, make investigation checks.
I got 7.
11.
7.
I got 12.
7.
Wow. Okay.
We all have 7.
We all suck. We hear nothing.
Yeah, so like as you kind of like enter this courtyard, you kind of there's probably like maybe like 8 or 9 houses here, all kind of like packed into this kind of square with another set of stairs at the other end. You enter the homes and you kind of see like a lot of their like where this would have been like well kept and probably like there's like fireplaces. These probably would have been kind of like quite cozy, warm little homes but most of the furniture has been smashed or like knocked over. Like small like tapestries or like scrolls and stuff on the walls have been torn or burnt. Food has been like either left abandoned on kind of tables or smeared across the floor and kind of starting to go. Like some of it starts to go up, some of it in the like houses that are a bit more sheltered just start to go off. Others have just frozen solid in the cold. They all seem to have been kind of like generally ransacked, but you can't tell why or by what.
Can we tell when though?
Make a survival check.
Start licking the dirt like.
It's not stupid if it works.
16.
You reckon that, like, given, like, the state of the food, that some of it's, like accounting for, like, how much some of it's been destroyed by the cold, you reckon this probably would have been, like, a couple months at least. Like, this has been abandoned for a while. Like, you see, like, snowdrifts of, like, stuff and piling up inside the houses. Like, it's had time to make its way in. These have been left like this for a while. But yeah, that's pretty much all you can really find in the houses. They seem to like anything valuable seems to also have been like pillaged, where you see like there's broken lock boxes and stuff like that, and you don't really find anything of value in there. And yeah. There's another one of these like colossal staircases that kind of pokes up between these some of these more kind of like kind of dark-leaved green, still somehow green trees that are hard enough to dig into the rock face and still somehow survive in this harsh weather. But this kind of as the kind of getting towards dusk, it's not quite dark yet, but you can see the sun is kind of low on the horizon. I think where are my notes? It's mostly bullet points. So,
How long is the staircase?
the kind of it stretches up quite far. I don't know. I've not gone down the feet, so I can tell you, but. Where the fuck is this? Oh, that's where you are. Okay, cool. Sorry, I've got kind of like a mental map, and I like the notes aren't always the most useful for me navigating it. The stairs are probably at least 100 feet up. Like, you can see the top of them, but you can't really see what's beyond.
Shall we find one of the least broken houses and take up shelter for the night.
Sure. Sounds like a good idea, to be honest.
Could we do a long rest?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah.
I'm hinting at, but I'm saying it's story-wise.
Don't we?
Yes, let's do that.
All right. So, are you doing watches? Like, are you gonna light a fire? How are you kind of preparing for this?
Well, I'm an elf.
Can Reaver try and barricade like the doors, the windows, to
Okay.
like make them a bit more
Homey.
less cold?
I'd say yeah. You can probably use like bits of wood from some of the shattered like furniture to kind of reinforce some of the doors and windows.
Because it's like I want to try and get it so it's like you can't really see us in it.
Okay. What check it would be. There's not really a skills check for that, I think.
Building.
I mean, it depends. Like, it's a lot easier to like close it so like you wouldn't be able to see them from the outside. But like, if you're lighting a fire, it's going to be a lot more difficult to conceal all the holes. It's up to you guys. It is very cold, and
Bonfire.
pretty much yeah.
Well, not just enough so it's like even if they can see the fire, it's like is that like they can't see us moving around.
Okay, that's not so difficult.
That's fairly easy. We just have to sort of sit on the opposite side of the.
No, we can't sit in front of the windows. We can't sit in front of the door.
So opposite that.
So yeah, you managed to close it up enough that like if someone was looking, they'd be able to see that there was some light source in there, but they would see like wouldn't be able to see you in particular.
Yeah.
All right. So is anyone taking watches, and if so, what order? So you guys.
I shall go first.
All right. So
I'll go second.
How long is this long rest?
a long rest always 8 hours,
Okay.
unless you want to oversleep. But that's up to you. Yeah, in like the time it takes you to barrack the house, like it does kind of the sun is like pretty much set at this point. It's winter, so it gets dark pretty early. Like it's kind of coming out of winter, but it's still in its death
Like
throes.
here, where it's 5 o'clock in the evening, it's pitch black.
Yeah, pretty much.
This bonfire spell only lasts 1 minute.
You can keep casting it, can't you?
Yeah. So
Well, there is a fireplace, so you can probably make it oven if you wanted to.
And we
Probably
do
do
have
that.
torches.
Pun?
And we do have some torches.
Yeah.
Also, if anyone has the prestidigitation spell, I can barely pronounce that on a good day. You could instantaneously light the fireplace.
I mean, I have firebolt.
True.
Why use fancy magic when fire?
Yeah. Prestidigitation is a weird spell.
Mhm.
It's basically like party tricks, but occasionally deadly.
So party tricks.
Well, it's like you can instantaneously like snuffle like a bonfire or a torch. It's like, well, how far does that definition stretch? Exactly. Could you say that this like thing that was like, I don't know, this sawdust that could be intended as a something that's supposed to be flammable? You know, just set it on fire. It's fine. You can also like create an object that can fit inside in your hand. Doesn't say where, just as it has to be able to fit in your hand, and it lasts for 6 seconds.
What class spell is it?
It's a cantrip.
It's a pretty common one.
And
Why the fuck did I? That sounds cool.
and most arcane spellcasters get it. I think pretty much only clerics and druids don't get prestidigitation on the spell list. I could be wrong about clerics.
The next character I want to make is like similar to like a siren from Borderlands.
Oh, okay, cool.
So psionic.
Yeah, but be able to do like certain things, but
Yeah, there's varying things that you could go for with that. My Borderlands knowledge is limited, but I know a lot about it. But yeah, no.
well, they're like the main thing. So
Yeah. Again, I've never played any of the games, so I've watched a few people like bits and pieces of playthroughs and stuff.
They have powers. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. But yeah, so how remember who was taking watch again?
Reaver.
Me.
Then Krug.
Okay.
And me, I guess.
Right. You only have to sleep for 4 hours, haven't you? Well, you
Yes.
trance for 4 hours. So yeah, that'll cover it. Okay. Each of you, so Reaver, make a perception check.
Yeah, baby.
21.
Okay. Cool. So you got it's pretty difficult, because of the firelight, you don't really have much night vision, and you boarded up the windows pretty well. So most of your kind of watch is through hearing, and I guess Dragonborn couldn't really smell, but the wind is pretty intense, so you don't really catch anything on that one.
Cook's fine in his
He
sleep.
did those, but,
Nice.
yeah, first watch passes uneventfully. You wake up Krook as you head to sleep. Krook, make a perception check.
Right. Oh, is that a 9 or a 6? That
Where's the dot?
there.
He's on the bottom.
It's on the line.
Uh,
I don't think you can see
I
it.
don't know. Also, I don't know what the difference is.
So if the loop of the number is by the dot, that's a 6.
Yeah, it's a 6 then.
Right. So that's a 9, right?
Oh,
Yes.
That's a 9.
Yes.
I like how you never
That's a
offered to
6.
help read it. You're just
Right, yeah, that
fucking figure it
I
out,
got
moron.
a 9 then, I think. Yeah, I think I got a 9.
Okay.
Right.
Is that with your bonuses as well?
What is this?
No,
We'll
13.
just keep him quiet.
Okay. Yeah. No. Yeah. For most of your watch, you don't really hear anything. It's the wind doesn't really relent. Even as the kind of sun fully sets below the horizon, the wind is the main sound that you can hear.
Yes.
It kind of it kind of batters against the windows and the doors, but how well the barricades. Occasionally you get bits of snow kind of pushing in through the cracks, and then melting as they come closer to the fire.
Is Smick still with us, or whatever his name is?
That's true. Smick is still with you, probably.
Okay, I have a blanket apparently. Can I give him the blanket?
You can do, but you would
Okay.
be without a blanket.
Well, I'll be under it as well.
Make a persuasion check.
Just to keep him warm. Persuasion.
Yeah, because Smick is wary of you.
You also don't
Good
speak
reason.
Draconic.
That's true. Make us.
Yay, I got 22. No, yeah, 22.
Okay. So.
I've stopped picking on him and being creepy for
Are you
ages.
sure?
Yeah.
Should I sleep with him?
No, I just want to keep him warm. He's more of a pet than
Oh, not again, fucks.
I need to check some cobalt stats.
He has very limited intelligence, but he is technically an intelligent creature.
Technically, he's still
Yes.
starting to sentient.
So it's
I've been.
you haven't seen him as a pet.
Yeah,
I've been
kind of. Not fully. But he is little, so I am worried about him, so I want to give him the blanket.
See, the issue is the dump commands channel that I use to look up stuff is also where I leave.
What is it you're looking for?
These guys cobalt stats. That's why I got them. All right. Yeah, they're not very strong-willed. This one is particularly stubborn. Okay.
I mean, we can top and tail.
Seeing as they don't speak Draconic, oh no, they do speak Common actually. Smick is one of the more educated kobolds.
Oh yeah, he was smart enough to not get killed.
Yeah. Well, lucky enough, really.
Mm.
Well.
I rolled D4 to check if you was one of the fools.
Actually, I've changed my mind. So to make amends,
to make amends for like picking on him,
Right.
I will like to just offer him the blanket, and I will just be cold.
All right. He sniffs it suspiciously, but like eventually, it's also like massively too big for him. He's like 2.5 foot tall.
He would love it.
Or is he like wrapped up in it like a little dragon burrito?
Yeah, no, he like properly like you can't even see him after he's like curled up. He kind of like turns it like a little bit of a nest almost. Like he kind of like pulls it around him and then like hides underneath it.
Very cute.
Not that far away from the fire. But yeah, do you have a bedroll, by the way?
Then we all have bedrolls, don't we?
I have exploring pack, so
If you've got an explorer's pack, you have a bedroll. If you don't, you don't.
No, I have a cleric pack or whatever it was called, or a priest pack or something.
Priest pack does not have a bedroll,
No.
unfortunately.
I'll just chill.
Huh.
Just sit there and do that.
I have thieves' tools and I can't remember what the other one.
I have a candle, so I can just,
Yeah, there is, like the fireplace has been lit, so the room is not like as cold as it would be.
Yeah, I'll be alright. It's to apologise anyway, so.
Yeah, no, there is like kind of a sleeping pallet, like with probably like goat or sheep skin on it. It's not the most comfortable, and it doesn't like because you don't have a blanket, you can't like insulate yourself super well. But the fire's probably enough to keep you warm if no one else claims the pallet. I imagine. I actually don't remember who in this party has what.
I don't have the explorer's pack, so.
I do. Yeah, so those without an explorer's pack will be sleeping on the floor. Well, everyone's sleeping on the floor, but you sleep without cushioning, so it's not the most comfortable.
It's not like a rug or anything.
Not really. I mean, like there's, like I said, there's like a sheepskin on the sleeping pallet. That's about it.
Guess we should have looked for them when we were going through the other houses.
Yeah, you think that either all that kind of stuff would have been taken, or like people here are adapted enough to the cold they don't need them. Either way, there's not really much in the ways of
Bedding.
yeah. Yeah. So Crook, your watch kind of passes uneventfully. Burial, make a perception check
okie dokie.
as you come out of your trance.
No shit. 9. No, wait. 8.
Okay.
Should have left it at 9.
Alright. Give me a wee second.
Apparently I was sleeping a bit too heavily.
You weren't even technically asleep.
Shush.
You were wide awake, but you just wasn't caring.
Mm-hmm.
So, you kind of you're kind of like, you find it difficult to hear over the kind of like the howling winds outside. They kind of try and
Valencia snoring.
like nurse the fire back to life after it's kind of pieced out while you've been in trance. Yeah, no, you don't really, like, for most of the night you don't hear anything. Probably at some point, what are you looking for?
Just looking at the dice.
Who knows?
They're on your phone.
Some of them are on my phone. Yeah, no, you don't really hear much.
It's in right.
At one point in the night, only a few hours away from dawn, you kind of just about catch kind of like the noise of something moving outside over the wind. You get up to kind of look through the cracks in the windows, but you can't really see anything.
So I did my job too well.
Yeah, also you rolled garbage. So
Yeah, that was fair.
something's out there, but it doesn't seem to notice you. Actually, does it? Let's check real quick.
Oh my god. We're gonna get jumped.
I have chromatical, don't worry.
I'm gonna say at one point you hear something kind of come over and sniff out of the door.
Sneef.
Like it kind of butts up against the door, but
Mhm.
doesn't really.
So something snuffling.
But like after a couple of minutes,
That's what you hear.
it kind of moves away, and you don't really you don't really see or hear anything for the rest of the night. And yeah, you walk around getting benefits of a long rest.
No.
So you get all your HP back, you get half your hit dice back, and you get your resources back, and then nothing else will get after a long rest.
Fantastic. Nothing changes for me.
See,
Well, you get the one spell slot back that you didn't have.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't use cantrips last time, so I'm all good.
Cantrips. Can't you use cantrips at all to any room
Yep.
you want? Yeah.
Yeah, you can use cantrips as many times as you like. The only cost usually is the time to cast them. So like, most of it is an action.
I forgot what mine are.
They should be
those are like,
Those are the cards. Not the-
well, some of them are the cards. I think like I might have, I can't remember with like, depending on what you printed, that might be all your spells you know, which is every cleric spell. Or it
Every
could be-
single one.
could be just the ones prepared, or it could just be your cantrips. I don't know.
They're on the. Oh no, they're not.
Oh yeah. Light mending flame, mending and sacred flame. Yeah, I remember.
Okay, yeah. So you
Didn't you kept trying to use Sacred Flame last time and missed?
Yes.
Sacred Flame is like I think she hit it a couple of times because
It's artillery.
Sacred Flame is a saving throw, so like
Yeah.
it's done out of the way. But yeah. So yeah, you kind of wake up in the morning. It is still brisk outside, and kind of like if any of you have rations, I would mark a days off because you've been up here for a while, and you would have eaten last night. So if you have rations, mark 1 days off. Otherwise, you are hungry. Unless anyone else is generous.
I now have no rations. I thought I had more rations. I only had one.
I think you might have fed someone to like either the kobolds or like someone else, maybe. I can't remember.
No, it literally says one. One day.
There's a 1 in brackets 10 though.
No, one. One day.
Oh no. Wait, it's got brackets 5.
Alright.
So you,
Alright, yeah.
you've still always there.
Jake,
Well, I'll have to give one to Smink, won't
I
I?
also have warding flare. I didn't realise I had that. It says I can use it. My wisdom modifier. I'm out a day, 3 times a day. Is that?
No, that's not a cantrip. That's a lunch cleric ability. So I don't. You'd have to like read the ability to figure out what that does. But
Oh yeah, it says it all here. So can I? It says I can use it. My wisdom modifier. Does that count towards my other spells, or can I just use that 3 times a day?
that's separate to your spells.
Gracious. Okay.
Yeah, that's a different thing to keep track of.
Okay.
I think that's like isn't that like as a reaction to someone attacking you?
Yeah. So if someone's about to attack, if they're 30 feet away and I can see them, I can throw out a warding flare that will like. I think it's like a blind or something. Well, it doesn't blind them, but like
Right.
it reduces their accuracy or something.
Okay, cool. Well, if you remember that in the future, then by all means. That's another thing. Like, whilst I do know most of the rules, I don't know how everything works. So if you've got abilities that I don't know them all, it's kind of your job to figure out what you can do.
It says it imposes a disadvantage on the attack roll of the enemy.
Okay, so when you see someone's about to attack, you say, well, I think if it's specifically you, I'll say they're about to attack you. You can say, I'm going to want to fail them, and then I roll twice and take the worst result.
Okay,
That's how that works.
I understand. Right. Sorry.
So yeah, as you kind of debarricade the house, unless you want to stay here for the rest of your lives,
It's tempting, but we have a dragon to kill eventually.
you kind of step outside. You can see kind of like there are like prints in the snow. Kind of you don't really know what, other than like they're big and they're vaguely kind of like you don't know. Make it, I guess like you make it like a nature or survival check. But
Won't bother. I have +1 to both.
What kind?
nature or survival, whichever's higher for you.
I got
17.
19 survival.
6.
Right, okay, survival. Fuck's sake, I haven't rolled terrible today.
17 survival.
7.
You rolled higher than me.
Alright, so you roll. What did you get?
6.
6. What did you get?
19.
Actually, that was survival, right? What did you get? What were you using?
17 survival.
Okay, so both using survival, right? So, yeah, I mean, it looks vaguely kind of like canine. Like it's kind of like got the arrangement of the kind of like pads on the feet match up, but it's a lot bigger. Than
Great.
Kind of even like actually bigger than the Shadow Masters that you fought. Seemingly, despite the fact that thing is pretty big as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, let me check. They might not be. Give me a second.
Well, that's not good.
Well, let's be careful.
Yeah, no, it is bigger. It is one size category larger. Size categories in D&D are always odd, but you know. But yeah, no, like you don't like that's pretty much what you find. Like the it seems to kind of come out of like between some of the trees that like are around the courtyard and exits a different way, but neither of them are anywhere where there's a path. But yeah, they're like as you kind of push the snowdrift that's built out outside the door away to escape the house.
Bonfire. To make it easy.
Okay, yeah, just a hurry bonfire.
Just
Not directly in the path, just like off to the side.
Okay.
great.
Yeah.
You've now made our shoes even more wet and cold than they already were.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that's the point actually. Anyone that's not like used to wear like has like hiking boots, probably wet feet.
Probably me then. But firebolt.
Yeah. Yeah. So as you kind of exit out, you're in the courtyard again. You've got kind of the way you came, and also the big old staircase in front of you.
Let's go up the staircase and look for a giant dog.
Another one.
I can't remember what the fuck my notes are supposed to say. It says, oh yeah, there's 2 staircases. So there are 2 sets of staircases split off by this kind of out of rock and trees, but they both lead up to the same bit. And yeah, so once you reach the top of the staircase, again you're kind of faced with this kind of small plateau, kind of with this kind of curved rock face around it, with again these kind of copses of trees either side. You see the kind of like raised, kind of maybe 1 foot tall stone-like dais in the middle that seems to be cleared of snow, bizarrely. And behind it, you see there is another staircase that kind of lines up with the ones that you came up with, and these 4 kind of much larger, kind of similar style but like bird statues with these kind of like they're Aztec in the sense of like the kind of like almost like right angles, like the body shapes are kind of like it takes a little minute to realise what they actually are looking at the face on. But these kind of like 2 either side of the central staircase with this large kind of stone platform in the middle that seems to have maybe some engravings in it, you don't know.
Can I go and study one of the statues and try and work out if it's magical?
I'm going to look on the floor for anything that could be a trap.
Okay, so you make an investigation check. You can make an investigation or arcana check.
I'll do an investigation check.
7.
I'll just make it a bit more. 8.
Good, you guys are rolling well today.
I'm
rolling very good.
So good.
Yeah, no, so you don't find anything, like any traps or anything like that. You don't really find like anything. You're just looking at the bird statue, kind of like trying to figure out like there's probably some significance to this, but you can't quite like figure out what it is. It seems to be mostly decorative.
Birdie!
Bird.
But yeah, what are you guys up to?
I'm gonna trudge to the next staircase.
Okay. Anyone else following? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Alright, cool.
I'll just stand back and go.
Follow the child.
What? There's a child?
No.
There is a child.
Oh.
What is the child?
You
What?
is child.
I'm the child.
I mean, compared to us, you're probably a child.
This probably is the youngest, I think. I have no idea how old
Oh
he
yeah.
is.
I suppose Valencia would be the youngest here, wouldn't she? Aren't you the youngest?
No.
I think I'm the oldest.
Oh, you'd be surprised. Burial's like Burial's an elf.
Did I?
So,
184.
Okay, never mind.
Valencia's 32. I
Yeah,
remember.
but aren't
I'm
all like
40.
I was about to say, aren't all the ages like mixed?
I'm
'Cause,
15.
like, it's like
Yeah, I thought you were the
years,
youngest.
Yeah, I'm technically
translation,
not in
stuff
driving
like
one
that.
years now.
Yeah, like so, like
But like
elves,
human years, you're 15.
elves mature at like 50. Like that's kind of when they're considered like a young adult.
So that's like
200 is like middle age, probably.
yeah.
I can't remember Dragon Ball.
So you're not
Isn't it
even
like-
like my age. Fight me!
How old are you?
Very well mature, like
I'm a
50.
Ganassi,
Yeah, I'm 15.
but I'm
So,
50.
Yeah.
So
So
50.
How-
Well, what's
how
that in
old is-
human years? 50.
I don't bloody know.
Genasi live about the same amount as humans.
So I'm an old man.
he's just an old man.
Okay.
I am straight up the oldest one.
Okay.
Yeah. How old is Valencia, by the way?
32.
32. You're actually older than Ruler by years.
Yeah.
Um,
Because you're only 15, aren't you?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm,
Only 15.
I'm 17 years older than you.
yes, but
And then you're
That doesn't
40.
mean I want to fucking do as you say.
but you're about the same.
No, I'm just shocked because I thought that Valencia was the youngest.
I'm like 6 feet tall.
She is.
So is Valencia.
Yeah, both of you are around the same like level of maturity in
I'm
terms of, like
6'6".
physically, but age-wise, she's a lot younger than you.
Even though I weigh like 250 pounds apparently.
Well, they're very more stocky. They're quite bulky. Like not necessarily in terms of like physical appearance, but like there's a lot like it's mostly muscle.
I do also literally have gems on me.
Yeah, muscle and like in that case, gems.
Yeah.
How tall
Well, I'm
are
only
you,
6
Tom?
foot because of the heels. I think it says, what did I put? That she's like 5
foot
foot
tall.
10,
All
but
right.
because of the heels, she's 6 foot.
I'm 8 foot tall and weigh 400
6'11".
Yeah, Crook is tall even for a Goliath.
Mm. He is
I'm
big boy.
Big boy.
weightless.
You're a big chungus. Yeah.
You are an egg, Genasi.
I am actually
I just thought
weightless.
you. I thought you just said egg.
Nice.
Genasi.
I'm an egg.
Oh my god. Yeah, actually that reminds me. Well, I don't use them because they're fucking ridiculous, but there's another set of Genasi which you can use in your setting with 4 new elements, which
Is one of them cheese?
No.
Is one of them surprise?
Yes.
I want to do a surprise one.
You got the elements of surprise, bears, wax, and man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I choose surprise because God knows what that means.
I only understand like 2 of those.
Yeah. They just the description is that like most people that study the elements, like they just give up after like,
Jeez, I wonder why.
But what the fuck is
Yeah.
bears and elements? It's
Yeah.
like what? But yeah.
You're just a giant overgrown bear.
So does the wax one, can they just like make candles?
I can't remember.
What does the surprise one
They,
do?
they reach into their
Is
ear.
it literally just like pop out of your hat and it's just like, oh, a bunny, haha.
The surprise ones have like a much more toned down version of the wild magic surge table, but like built into their race.
So what if I had that but also chose wild magic warlock?
Wild magic walk isn't a thing. Wild magic
All
sorcerer
right.
is a thing. But yeah, no.
There
double
should be
damage,
wild magic
that's good.
sorcerer.
Double the fun.
Yeah, no. There's a lot of weird builds. That one's a very strange homebrew that like generally you use in like
You should have been a surprise one.
the weirder campaigns.
Yeah.
Well,
Me
I didn't know it was a thing until now.
Because I don't generally.
Everyone voted for Air Genasi for me, so I was just like, cool.
Yeah, no. It also begs the question. It's like, well, the Genasi exists, so therefore not only the Jinn exist, but also the elemental planes of those exist. So the elemental plane of bears. For one.
It's just a forest.
I wonder what surprise is.
I imagine.
Like,
I'm interested in why.
Jokes aside, it'll be very weird.
I imagine.
I remember you.
it's probably pretty similar to Limbo.
Yeah.
But every
Yeah,
time you
yeah,
turn
that's what you
around,
said.
there's just
Which is the plane of utter chaos.
yeah.
Where it's like the floor under you can just turn into like a pile of snakes.
Yeah, you could do.
That definitely sounds like the claim of surprise.
Limbo
Just the one thing that you wouldn't expect, like, whatsoever. All of a sudden, dead grandma floor.
Wow.
This is something that no one expects.
I
You could have done toothpaste.
What's the wax realm like?
Pretty waxy, I imagine.
Pretty good.
Pretty waxy.
Yeah, no, Limbo is odd because like it's so much chaos. Like if your will is strong enough, you can basically just meld things out into like you can bring things to reality with your mind. There's an entire race of beings called the Githzerai that built an adamantine city with the power of their minds. They kind of chill out there being monks.
What would the wax one be? Would it just be you, like, throw some wax, just...
You make candles.
I actually can't remember. They've all got their own special abilities.
Hold on.
That'd be lethal, though. In a fight, just, like, pressing your hand against someone
Oh.
and just burning their face.
I mean, you say that like you can't. It's difficult to point blank someone with a ranged spell attack. Weirdly, in D&D.
No, I just meant because, like, it'd be, like, you're made of wax.
Maybe.
So it's just...
I mean, Edgemasses aren't made of air. Like they are.
No, I know.
But, like,
There's a phrase that keeps getting passed around in one of the campaigns I'm in, war crimes. I'm pretty sure pushing hot wax into someone's face counts as a war crime.
probably, yeah. Does it count as a war crime if you're not a war though? I mean, is it just
Yes.
a horrific act?
The real questions here in D&D.
All right. Where the fuck are we? Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah.
Traveller, I am in need of your strongest potions.
Dear God.
Let's try to down that potion.
That video is actually ancient nowadays.
Yeah, it is.
What video?
Potions.
Oh my God. It's like there's videos like that like get recycled and like put on things like Vine and TikTok and they called Vines and TikToks, but it's like they're way older than those platforms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like those existed decades before any of those were even around.
Wax genocide.
Yes. But yeah, so yes. So as you kind of climb these stone steps, you get to the top, and you're kind of like you're not at the top of the mountain, but you're at the top of this part of the peak. This is like a long mountain range, and you're at the kind of like the apex of like one kind of peaking bit. It's been kind of flattened off, bizarrely like a lot of the places around here. They've seemed to have flattened the stone, or it's been worn away for some reason. But you see this kind of white stone structure. This kind of like this wall that kind of sits around the top, which doesn't seem to have any like obvious entrances for some reason. It just seems to be there as some kind of like ruin. But yeah, no. But from up here, you can see kind of like from either side there are other sets of staircases that go down either side of the mountain, but one thing that catches your eye immediately is that as you get up there, there is a dead guy standing in front of the ruin thing. He's just kind of this human hiker in like a backpack and kind of like thermal clothing that just kind of collapsed at the top of this mountain.
So he's not standing.
No, he's not standing. And as you go up to him, it's quite clear that he's been frozen solid. He's like sat. His body's been here long enough that he's like rock solid.
Blue?
Can I do an investigation on him to see if he died from the cold or was he stabbed or something?
Make an investigation check.
Can I see if I can get into his backpack?
You can try.
7.
7. You think it's probably you can't really find any like external wounds, so it's probably the cold. Like you can't really discern much else. To get into his backpack, do you have like a crowbar?
I do actually.
Okay.
Of course he did.
In that case, make a thieves' tools check. So
How do I do my thieves
I think.
stuff?
Do you have expertise in these tools?
Tool proficiency?
Yeah.
Thieves tools.
Okay. So hang on. Can I have your look at your skills real quick?
Yes.
Because you might have picked expertise in these tools, in which case you get a double bonus. But I'm looking for see if you picked expertise in anything else. I think you got expertise in athletics for some reason. Perception's fine already. Persuasion. I think you have expertise in these tools.
Yay!
So basically, you get to as a +4 for you, because you get to double your proficiency modifier for these tools checks.
Okay.
So roll d20 add 4.
Oh, fuck off! I got 9.
Oh, total, like 9 total.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, as you kind of like try to like the backpack is also frozen solid. So as you like try and like get into it, kind of like pry with the crowbar and like just a chip of backpack flies off. But you manage to get into it. Yeah, it's been here a long time. It seems, but the guy's been relatively well preserved.
In frustration, can we see if she can like hit the head to see if it comes off?
Make an attack roll.
What's my attack thingy?
It's basically using your strength because you're trying to kick him, and you're not proficient with unarmed strikes. So
Oh, it's nothing. Oh wait. No, it's nothing. 6.
so you like kind of like kick into his body in frustration. You just kind of stub your toe. He like you see him kind of like lurch a bit as like with the force of it, but nothing seems to happen. But yeah, out of interest, what is it in his passive perception?
16.
13.
14.
12.
13.
Actually, 12. Pretty wise party actually. Interesting. Wouldn't have guessed.
We're not good at much else.
So yeah, I think who has 14 or higher?
Oh no.
16.
Okay, cool. So kind of as you're kind of like kicking the corpse of this dead guy, and Crooked is just kind of like surveying the landscape. Both you kind of catch something out of the corner of your eye. You see like off to the left from where you came up, by the side of this structure, you see this kind of diamond-shaped depression in the snow, which, as you're kind of like, the thing that you look at it like thinking, why'd that catch my eye? And you see this kind of pink line trace its way around the edge of the depression, and then go out again. It's there.
So, let's go up to it then.
I don't know.
You go up to it.
I'll go up to it. Fine, I'll go up to it. Crew will go up to this depression.
Okay. Poke around, make an investigation check.
12.
Okay. So yeah, like you kind of lose it for a second again as like you walk over and you can't see like the snow drop and like the lights go off, but after a second you see that kind of pulse around again. It's about kind of like that kind of size, about like maybe a foot or foot and a half across. And as you go up, you kind of like you manage to locate it again. You kind of brush off the snow, and it's this seemingly like metal kind of plate with this kind of light that goes around it. And this there is like a handle in the middle, maybe.
Is it a pink like the lady had?
Not the same colour, no, but the kind of actually make a Arcana check.
Well,
Have we noticed what they're doing?
4.
Okay. Yeah, you have no idea. Like, maybe. Who
I
knows?
just can I just like nudge Burial and point at it?
Yeah.
Like,
So yeah.
what is it?
Ooh, Chloe.
After like you see like Crook's brush the snow away, you can like it's now a lot more obvious to you guys. It is this like around it you see like more kind of like darker plates, but this kind of inlaid thing is just like this clean metal plate with this kind of handle. It seems like pressed into the middle of it.
All right. Arcanic, we go. I'll roll that
He
again.
says as he rolls off the table.
18 plus 3. Finally, a good roll.
So this is definitely an old world tech, where you have no idea what it does.
Ooh.
Without
Touching it.
yes.
Craig, touch it.
Yeah, I'll touch it.
Oh my god.
How are you touching it?
So is it like a hand?
Just headbutt it.
It's kind of like the top of the handle is flush with the top of the plate, like there's kind of like an alcove for you to put your hand in, but
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll just stick my hand in, no problem. I'll like pull it or some shit.
alright, so you kind of pull it. Make a athletics check.
Right.
It's stiff.
Okay.
Ooh, well.
Athletics, yes, right.
Yes,
18.
something I can do.
Yeah. So like as you kind of like, this thing has obviously not been used in some time. Like whether it's rust or ice, something is like jammed the mechanism. But like as you kind of heave with one hand, you manage to kind of like muscle straining, kind of pull it up, and then you realize at some point it proves some resistance. So you kind of twist and then pull it up all the way, and you see kind of like. In the the lid seems to be kind of like doesn't fill the entire space. You see this kind of like lid on the top with the handle, and then beneath it is this kind of canister, similar to what you saw on the kind of hologram that the Guardian showed you. And you see this kind of dim, kind of fist-sized octahedral crystal that kind of pulses gently in the light, and it's been kind of like suspended by these two kind of metal supports. In the middle of this kind of like this. It's mostly glass, but there's like an opening where the crystal is.
I was going to say, isn't that what the lady showed us? Well, the Guardian showed us. Anyone?
I wasn't paying attention to her.
Ditto.
Can I like take it from Krook?
I mean, like it's not. It's still in the ground. Like it's like it came up and then stopped. And it's
Wait,
still
this is
sitting.
one of the things that she showed us a hologram of,
Yes.
right?
Oh good, I thought I was the only one that paid attention to that.
No, I made a note actually.
And I asked and you all just stared at me.
Um,
Can we get it out of the ground?
I mean, you try and remove the whole thing, or like.
The whole thing.
Okay. It just like. How? Are you just pulling on it, or like what? Because Crook has let go and it's like sitting like above ground now.
Can like lift it up, and if it doesn't move, put my crowbar and try and under it. And
Okay. So you're gonna try and like yank it out, make a strength athletic check, which you are somehow an expert in.
She went to a special crowbar course.
Yeah.
13.
13. Yeah.
Athletics.
Like you try and like you kind of like strain as much as you can, but like it doesn't seem to move at all. It's not even that it's that heavy. Like you just find that like it like the where the mechanism like allowed you to pull up does not seem to like let you take it any further.
Can I try and lift it again?
Yeah.
Right, okay. So strength again. Right. Fuck off. 7-1.
Yeah. No. Like it doesn't even budge.
My rolling has been
Could I do an
amazing
Arcana
today.
check on it? I want to see sort of how much magical energy is this thing giving off.
Sure. Make my function.
7 plus 3. I'll take it.
Can I have a star?
Yeah.
Been on the month for ages.
I mean, you think it might be magical, but no. Like it's difficult to tell. But
I'm guessing old one tech is a bit.
Shiny, pretty crystal, and we're all rolling shit.
I
Yeah.
mean, like sometimes it's pure technology, sometimes it's a mixture of magic and science.
I want to grab the crystal.
It's really okay.
Can Lucifer grab the crystal?
Actually, if Reva sees Lucifer going for it, she's like, just lets him go first.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Lucifer regrets his decision.
No, he doesn't.
He really doesn't.
It's actually very interesting that you take.
Could I have some stars?
No.
Thank you.
As you, yeah, so as you kind of reach out and grab the crystal, you feel it give as of the kind of metal supports just there to hold it, like gently not like fix it in place. Make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh goodness.
Oh yeah, because I'm apparently good at wisdom stuff, aren't I?
It's not that. It's something else. Well, we'll see how well he rolls.
10,
10.
11.
Okay. Yeah. So.
Do I die?
Dead.
No.
Immediate death.
But as you kind of reach out and grab this crystal, kind of like a flash of light kind of dazzles you as you reach it, and like
Am I now blind?
no. So as you kind of look up and like kind of clear your eyes, you find yourself in somewhere completely different.
Alright,
You
I'm
crap.
teleported.
Idiot.
Hello, guys.
Yeah, you're standing kind of in like maybe kind of an inch deep layer of water on this kind of this very like perfectly flat plane. It seems like the water, or maybe the sky, you don't know, is like this kind of pinkish red. And as you kind of look around, you watch and like you see kind of like just piles and piles of corpses of humanoids you don't recognise.
I'm gonna die.
But as you kind of walk forwards, they kind of stutter and phase out. They seem to disappear. You find yourself kind of like this pain in your chest, and you kind of like cough and double over, and this kind of bizarrely like pink, you assume blood comes out of your mouth and kind of lands in the water. And as it hits the water, it kind of swirls and kind of shifts colour from this kind of reddish pink to a dark black as it surges behind you, and you see this kind of huge, kind of shadowy, kind of like almost like a liquid shadow, kind of looming over you. This kind of bright, like magenta, kind of diamond-shaped light with this kind of big protruding horns at the top, but it's kind of made this writhing black material, which you kind of instinctively lash out without your magic in seeing. And as it does, it kind of briefly kind of retreats and then reforms, kind of without like instinctively, without kind of even thinking, you start running, and eventually you find yourself kind of, you look like, it seems to, like, when you look back it's gone again, and the area you're in, kind of off in the distance you see these kind of large structures, and you can just about make out these kind of titanic figures kind of striding around and like kind of reaching out to these things.
It's like fucking SCP shit.
Oh, excellent.
I'm fucked. Guys,
Are you
help.
still holding the crystal?
Is he
I don't
disappeared?
know.
So
Am
I'll
I
get back to that in a
holding
second.
it?
But the crystal, like, where you currently are, you can't. The crystal isn't in your hands. But like,
Is it inside me?
Are you inside the crystal?
yeah. So you kind of run onto.
Guys,
kind of,
touch the crystal.
No!
as you kind of escape it, the skies kind of clear to a kind of a more pastel pink, and so does the water around you. And next to you, you see this like jackal. You think maybe like this kind of canine figure, quite lean, long ears, with this kind of again diamond-shaped kind of white halo behind it, behind its head, and it kind of looks at you with a look somewhat familiarity. And as it sits kind of next to you, you see this around you. You've seen like these kind of like the water kind of ripples, and then this huge colossal like monolith bursts out of the water, and it happens around you, and then eventually in front of you. This thing eventually stops as it soars upwards, and then kind of a split, probably about 15 foot tall, that kind of opens, and you see kind of light pouring out, and the jackal wanders in.
You're basically having an acid trip.
Yeah, like, whoa.
A crystal meth trip.
Yeah.
Like, I've met a furry now, like, what the fuck's going on?
It does seem to be an actual jackal as opposed to like an anthropomorphic.
Yeah, I got
Oh, thank
that.
God.
I got that much.
Yeah, no, it's pretty big though. Like it's about like
It's a big boy.
sitting down. It's like nearly shoulder height for you.
That is a big boy.
But it's kind of lean, kind of like what is it? Like kind of like greyhound kind of physique, but a bit more
Thin boy.
Thin, tall boy.
It's because like the eyes are like perfectly this kind of purple magenta color, but the rest of it is kind of like the fur is like jet black. And as it kind of wanders in, you kind of feel tugging at the back of your mind that kind of draws you in. And as you kind of walk into this kind of enclosed space, you see this kind of similar to the crystal that you grabbed at the whatever it was at the top of the mountain, which feels like so long ago.
Just a lifetime away, guys.
As you kind of like walk towards it, it kind of falls away beneath you, and you see the kind of the black figure chasing you again. And instead of the crystal in front of you now, there's a set of winding steps that pierce the clouds. And as you desperately climb them, you reach the top to see you're confronted with these three titanic figures, these purple, dark, and the shoulders up above the clouds. These kind of four beaming white eye sockets above you with their kind of jaws open. But then suddenly there's a flash of lightning as they.
I just want to quickly ask something.
Hello. Yes.
Have you been playing Hyperlight Drifter?
This is partly from that.
I thought you were going to ask if you've
Oh, the
smoked
jackal.
weed or something.
The jackal's from Hyperlight Drifter, isn't it?
So
Were
there's
those
literally a
titans gonna
scene
eat
where
him?
there's like three
Uh,
titans
well-
and you stood on a rock with them over you.
That's the visual. That's the visual of my country. Yes. But yeah, no,
Instead of a hyper speed
I'm gonna
knight,
get
whatever.
like holographic
a
abilities or some
cultist.
shit.
Crazy
Yeah,
old man
I am a
cultist.
cultist as
Yeah.
well, so I'm just like, Sky Daddy? Hello?
Yeah, no, the like as the lightning crashes, you see them kind of like their armor seems to kind of disintegrate and they like turn to rust as it kind of falls away, and they're like the eyes go black and dark and dead as they start to collapse.
So these big Goliaths are now collapsing.
Yeah, like you're
That is a terrifying image, okay.
you're above this kind of pinky orange cloud layer, but as they kind of fall again, the kind of thing that you entered before kind of rises out of beneath you on this kind of lonely plinth that you have the staircase up to. And again, through the doors you see this crystal, which this time stays kind of within reach, and it is this kind of massive, kind of probably like about as wide as this table, kind of thing, but the same kind of dimensions. This kind of it's about that's the shape of it. Like it's a D8 in shape. That's kind of it's kind of suspended there. This kind of glistening white thing that kind of radiates kind of power and feelings of kind of energy and light. But as you kind of reach out to touch it, it flashes this dark purple, and you see these kind of dark tendrils come out of the shadows trying to restrict you. And you kind of tear them off, like desperately reaching for this crystal.
Except Sky
But
Daddy.
eventually, they kind of like your vision starts to go black and fade as you reach out, and eventually are restrained, and the vision ends. And you kind of find the crystal is in your hand, and you kind of collapse backwards after this kind of flash of this happened in like a moment. Like,
Yeah, just like
This whole
1
sequence.
second.
you reached out. You may have seen like a small kind of visual thing on like the gem, but other than that, like just like a small glint, and then suddenly he's like on his back. and you can kind of still feel like the echoes of that memory, like in the back of your mind. But yeah, like whatever this crystal is, that was a hell of a trip.
So
Can I just, like, lean over
Can
and
I just
go-
like keep the crystal now?
So can I like just
do
lean
I
over
have
and go,
use for
so what happened?
I'm also leaning over.
Yeah, to you guys, like he touched it, grabbed it, and fell over. That's all that happened from your point of view.
Did you have a
nasty boo boo?
I had a mind baby.
That's great.
Give me the crystal.
Fuck no,
I'm not
bitch.
sure
It's
you are.
mine.
Let's sit on him.
I
Tackle him
found
for it.
Are you going to tackle him?
Yes.
Right, make a athletics check. Of
Will
course,
it even work on me? Because wooden hands.
Oh, touch it and find
You
out.
have no idea what happened to him. Like, he said he had a mind baby.
I had a mind baby.
Yeah, I probably.
What am I doing,
I'm not going
athletics?
to touch this.
Athletics. Lucifer, you can make an athletics or a acrobatics check.
8.
16.
Yeah, so like as you're kind of like as you're getting it up off the ground, Reaper like, kind of like tackles you and like wrestles the crystal from you. When you touch it, nothing happens. You kind of like there is a kind of like a slight kind of resonance to it that like you didn't pick up when you sing it from afar. But other than that, it doesn't seem to like.
Just looks at it and just holds it over his chest and drops it and gets off.
Thank you.
Yeah, it kind of bumps onto you. Yeah.
I'm gonna write it down. I've got crystal.
Crystal baby.
Crystal baby.
But yeah. Yeah, so you're back on the mountain top. Kind of walking off from the stairs, there's two sets of stairs down that seem to lead kind of different paths down the mountain.
Well, close your eyes and pick a path, people.
2 ways.
Yeah, one seems to lead more towards like other parts of the mountain range. The other one seems to lead kind of a different direction, kind of winding
Ooh.
back around the path towards where you came from.
Reaver wants to quickly look around and see if she can see that Titan skeleton.
Make a perception check.
Wait, do we still have that crystal?
Yeah, he's got it in.
Yeah, I have a crystal.
Fine.
Fuck off. It's mine.
But 16.
15.
Okay.
Oh, 5.
My rolls are finally starting
Yeah,
to
so
get better.
none of you see the Titan skeleton from here, but because you kind of are at a weird angle, but you do notice that like after the crystal's been removed, like whatever, like you noticed that before there were like lights on the thing that you pulled out of, those seem to have gone completely dark. Yeah, no, like it seems like oddly quieter, despite the fact that you didn't hear any noise before. So yeah. What are you guys gonna do?
Do we know which way the dog went?
You didn't see
The dog.
Cock.
Oh wait, it probably isn't.
Can I like investigate the crystal more? Like, can I do absolutely anything with it right now?
Sat cross-legged in the snow going.
Yeah, just
What are you trying to do? Are you trying to like inspect?
look into it like a fucking crystal ball.
You trying to like inspect
Please.
Sat on it trying to make it hatch.
like do a connection thing or what?
Connection thing, I guess.
Okay, I would say make an Arcana check, but use your charisma instead of your intelligence.
Okay, I got plus 4 charisma.
Are you proficient in Arcana?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your charisma bonus?
What's my what?
Charisma bonus. Modifier rather.
What the fuck? Oh, that's what.
Yeah, so that'd be +6 for you if you're proficient in Arcana.
Okay. 1.
Okay, yeah. So you kind of like you strain
7.
to kind of like rekindle whatever you found before, but you feel it's going just on the edge of it, but you can only hear echoes. Nothing new happens.
So it's something that I can actually do. Okay. Found out
Yeah.
that much.
But yeah. What did you
Imagine
guys
Reaver's
do?
just looking at you.
Just
Yeah, so the dog
Like,
from earlier,
okay.
that kind of wandered off into some trees which didn't follow. So that was further down the mountain. But
Left or right?
I forgot why
Oh,
we're
whatever
even on the
direction.
mountain.
Killing cultists.
Right.
We killed the
And-
cultists and
Just
now we're
randomly from
investigating.
Valencia. I don't remember why we're here.
Killing cultists,
Stopping the cultists from being bad.
and apparently going on drug trips.
Without the mountain, I wouldn't have had my mind baby.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's all I need to know, really.
Mm-hmm.
I do not want you to take away my child.
I want to check on
Not going
Smith.
to take
How's
your
Smith doing?
child.
Something cold,
Dead.
but like, he was cold but defiant. He's like branching his fork, and he's like, whenever he hears something, he's like, turns around, like, pokes his fork at it.
Can we hand him a torch?
No!
Can we-
No, he'll
can
just
we-
set fire to things.
Can we find out if he's actually happy with us?
I mean,
No.
he's not got much
You
choice.
ask him.
Yeah.
He kind of like
Let Reaver
Before I
ask
can
him.
ask him,
Yeah.
is he okay?
Yeah, just ask. I just
You
want to ask. He does speak common,
His
doesn't he?
language.
he does.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
Yes, but he also thinks I'm a queen.
I would do his voice, but like my voice is wrecked at the moment, so I'm not going to stop annihilating myself further.
It's okay. I didn't really do Valencia, to be honest.
No, it's-
Unless she
it's
sounds
a-
like a man.
It's a high pitched screech, really, for birds.
That sounded more like a frog.
Since me and him are besties now.
So
I doubt
he
it.
kind of like he basically gives the impression that he tolerates the rest of you, but like he's really here for Reba.
Okay.
He was also sad that his family's dead.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
That's why I wanted to ask if he was okay.
But yeah, you're not sure if he's got PTSD or whether he's just angry all the time anyway.
Yeah.
But like he seems very on edge. Like December, like when you come over, like when he hears the crunching or something, like just fall at you, like desperately.
Well, he is a feisty version of what's he called? What is he again?
He's a kobold.
Yeah.
Kobold.
So he's a feisty. We've not all noticed that he's quite feisty for one of them, as the rest of them were all just quite daft, weren't they?
They were quite like meek, really. They weren't super threatening.
I will point out they only had 5 health. They only have 5 health.
I was about to say, like, Schmidt's the only one.
They were
That's-
smart enough to run away from the crazy cult guy that was blasting him off a cliff.
That seems to even have a mind.
Yeah, but
He
to
was
them,
just-
5 health is probably like a lot.
Well, yeah, it would
Never mind,
be.
you guys.
They could
you
take
guys
on the
got,
goddamn
one
world.
or less at first level. This is kind of what he looks like.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's only like 2.5 feet tall though. Like he's pretty small.
I'm just gonna ask him like, are you okay?
He kind of like puffs out his chest and puts on like a brave face and is like, yes, I basically gives the equivalent of, whatever you want me to do, I'll do it. I'm fine. Kind of.
Okay.
Rest.
I'll say too, it's like, do you need to rest? Do you need food? Water?
Food.
He seems to have his own provisions. Like he seems pretty well like kitted out.
Can't he sit on Crook's shoulder or something?
He doesn't trust Crook.
Okay.
That's great.
I could probably try and keep him warm. It'd involve a lot of firebolt.
He is wary of you when you like try to shoot fucking fire.
Yeah.
I'm not actually going to shoot firebolts at him. I'm going to, like, drop a firebolt beside him. Or something.
Would he
No.
fit in someone's backpack?
I mean, probably.
Crooks.
Well, it depends. Like your back is kind of full of shit.
Can I just
Yeah.
ask him, like, would you like me or one of them to carry you?
He kind of like he's despite his like frailty, he's quite proud. Like he doesn't seem to like want to like burden anyone at all. He's like, no, I'm fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, that's
Stubborn
that then.
bitch.
If he dies, I'm going to be really upset. Because of his own stubbornness.
Well, he is a kobold with 5 health. So yeah.
Oh god.
Would he trust me because I'm close with Reaver or not?
He sees you as insane.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, but we all see you as
Does he,
insane.
does he still hate me?
He's kind of indifferent towards you now. But he's not like friendly by any means.
Okay. So really, like, if
The
I
only one he
died,
likes
wouldn't
is
give
me.
a shit.
I love how like blunt that was. He kind of sees you as insane, like everyone else.
Yeah. I mean, like, he doesn't treat you any differently to like a regular human being, sane person.
It's okay if he dies because I can res him.
I think that was the reason why you wanted him anyway.
As a
You could just
pet.
bring him up, bring him back.
Well, he got like fucking smited by a cultist, and you picked him up from the corridor.
Yeah.
So like, that's the reason why he's still alive.
Oh my god, I've been so nice to him, and he gives me nothing
You
back.
also tried to enslave him.
Yeah, you're like the nicest guy of nice guys. You're like, I've had this kobold up my ass for God knows how long now. I want some kobold dick.
Not
down.
quite. Maybe affection, but I'm guessing I'm just gonna leave him to it.
Yeah, there are 2 paths you can take that aren't just backtracking. So
Can I give him one of the sacrificial daggers?
you can do, yeah.
I'm going to give him one of the sacrificial daggers.
He kind of kind of weighs up the fork and the knife, and he keeps the sacrificial dagger, but he tucks it in his belt, and like he keeps the fork.
Is that like a great sword to him?
I mean, it's probably closer to a long sword, but like, or a short sword, but like they're not tiny. They're considered small.
Small.
As their size passing. So like they can't handle 2-handed weapons. Like they're actually too big for them. And
That's why I gave him a dagger.
yeah, dagger is probably equivalent to a short sword for a kobold.
Okay.
His baby.
So a sword
Make
would
his
be like
baby.
around that
Yes.
long. A sword that was around that long for us is like around.
A great sword.
That's what a dagger is doing. But yeah. What are you doing? Where are you going?
I don't know. Are we carrying on, or do we go back and let, as Crookles and Captain Dickhead, know what we've been up to?
It's still pretty early morning, so you've got the whole day ahead of you. But
Whilst we're not doing nothing, can I like inspect the crystal again?
I would say like you get the sense that like that was probably your best attempt for like the foreseeable future. You probably have to try again at some another time.
Okay.
Wait till we find someone that looks.
In other words, it's like a magic
Speak.
8-ball and it's like try again later.
I'm wondering if we should ask Guardian about it.
She's not here, she teleported
Yeah.
away.
Yeah, when they inevitably next turn up.
Yeah, wait till
You
we
don't
meet
know if they
someone.
will.
I'll swap it for a gun.
No!
Wait till we see someone a bit ooky spooky and ask them.
Yeah, sure. Just like,
So
ooh,
what, is
I'm
it
a
a path
ghost.
left,
Hey, do you know what
left
this
or
is?
right?
Yeah, it's worth a try.
Upstairs.
Not up, down.
Oh, down. Sorry.
You're kind of like yeah, basically. Yeah, so east or west.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go down.
Where?
Which
Which
There's
way?
two. East seems to lead kind of
The way we haven't been yet.
There's 2.
But it's down and then up.
No, there's down and there's down.
So you came
Oh,
up.
okay.
You came up, and then there's 2 ways down on the opposite sides.
Why don't we split up? Then again,
That
that might
sounds
not
like
be
But that's
good
a
idea.
very bad idea. That's the one thing you never do.
Terrible idea. I
Go-
say,
go right.
yeah,
Fine.
right.
Alright.
The right way is always the right way.
Yeah. So
That's bullshit, and you know it. We're
Indeed
going
it
to
is.
die.
It will be painful.
east kind of goes towards like roughly where you came from, but like further down. Like seems to like you'd imagine that's how you get to the top of the mountain if you weren't going through the kobold nest. And then the west is kind of further towards other kind of peaks of the mountain.
I want to go to the other peaks.
Other peaks, yeah.
I want to see if we can get to the Titan Skull.
Alright. Is everyone else following?
We can get more prisms and crystal, baby.
I'm keeping the next one.
It's fine by me. I don't know if it'll do much for you. Seems to be like cultist.
I don't
sort of
care, it's a
thing.
shiny gem.
You're a shiny gem.
Not a pink one.
True. She's 2,000 like what is a pink like semi-precious gemstone?
There is literally a pink
Amethyst.
topaz.
Rose quartz.
Rose quartz, yeah.
Yeah.
Quartz isn't like super precious though.
Semi.
But there's quartz in swamp. So yeah.
Quartz.
That's how
I
most
said semi.
like clockwork things go. They keep time.
Rose rubies.
True. Anyway,
Rose gold.
Technically, some
That's not
amethysts
pink.
are
That's
actually
gold.
pink.
Yeah.
So,
did you know that magenta's not a real colour?
What?
No,
no, not again.
no.
No.
It's true.
We're not having that discussion.
Why is it
What?
not a real colour?
No.
There's no wavelength that exists for it.
For
so
what?
why do we see it?
Magenta.
Basically, like when basically
Don't tell Mick
This
that.
is Mick again.
Don't tell Mick that. Jesus Christ.
It's a mixture of like blue and red wavelengths, but because the spectrum doesn't wrap around, magenta doesn't have wavelength.
So is that just our brain making something up then?
Yeah, pretty much.
So basically, it's the error message.
Well, it's basically like well, the thing is like we've got typically 3 colors that detect red, blue, and green, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like there is overlap between those, and that's how we see like other spectra of color. The overlap between red and blue is where we see magenta and purple and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You'd blow up Mick's fucking mind if you told him this.
But yeah, no, it's also what is also very interesting is that some people have 4 cones, not 3. They don't see like another color. They see
So they say.
no. They see basically the way they like it basically means they're like they have like super chromatic vision. They can see more colors in between the colors that we see. So like you know how Mick was like, oh, we can only see 10 million colors or whatever. They can see significantly more because they've got more cones.
I feel like that's why loads of times, like I've got some sort of like something wrong with my vision because all the time someone will see something as green and I'll see it blue or turquoise and they'll always say it's like on the opposite.
What colour's this?
That's blue.
Yeah. Okay. Just check.
That's.
That happens a lot of the time for me though.
Which version is it? It's a version of colour blindness. That where you can see.
I like to
better
think
than-
that I can see more colours. I don't want to be colourblind. Please don't tell me I'm colourblind.
Well, the thing is, if you can tell the difference between like the most common color blindness, especially for men, is red green, and men seem to be like get off way worse. I mean, it's because of the XY chromosomes. The reason why that's that exact pairing.
The rumour that girls aren't colourblind, even though it's bullshit.
Girls are other kinds of colorblind, and some of them are red green colorblind.
Yes,
as well,
I
but-
struggle to differentiate. I can't say that word. Between, I think it's like very differences between blue and like purple. Like I can't see the difference really.
I think that's just like so. Color blindness is typically that like either you're missing a cone, which is real bad, or your 2 cones are like shifted, like they overlap much more in the spectrum that they see. But yeah, no, like it's more color confusion than actual color blindness.
I like how we got onto this conversation from a pink crystal.
Getting off topic.
Another fun.
It's actually magenta.
One last fun fact: we can actually see ultraviolet, but our lenses filter out because it's damaging to our fucking.
Yeah, because
retina.
there's a thing you can do, can't you? There's an operation where you can get that removed,
Yeah, some people have.
so you can
some
see
people-
ultraviolet light.
Some people don't see ultraviolet light. They do it to fix their lenses, but like, and it's different to laser eye surgery because laser eye surgery actually like edits the lens.
Yeah.
But if you have your lenses replaced, so if they get too kind of lax and you need like more solid ones, the solid ones like for a while I think they change it now, but like I think for a while used to be those lenses didn't filter ultraviolet light, so you can actually see in ultraviolet if you remove your lenses.
I couldn't even imagine what it looks like.
It's kind of I don't know what it exactly looks like, but I think it's kind of
Well, it's one of them, innit, where it's like you try and describe the colour red, and it's like,
it would
Okay.
it would be an extension of the violet end of the spectrum. But I think you also see like it kind of I imagine it'd be kind of like things you'd see more things as fluorescent. I imagine, but I could be talking about else. Anyway, back to D&D game. I'm interested in like optic things and colours. That's the thing I'm interested in.
What if I do something in hands?
Crook's been like mentally asleep for the past like 2 days
Yeah.
because he thinks I'm imagining not fighting anything. Alright, so you guys are going down the west path.
look,
Are we going
forgot to
back?
find my pants on it.
Are we going back down? Are we going back to the place, town?
No,
what
we're
do you guys-
going
Oh.
west.
Deeper.
I mean, you can obviously split the party if you want, but
Nope.
like,
No.
I wouldn't recommend it.
For the sake of his sanity and ours.
Oh, it's fine. It just means that like you're much easier to kill on your own. No pressure.
Me and Alex are have fun.
Alright. So, which one was this? Got a whole list of bullet
He
points.
was a girl.
Not that one. Okay, so you kind of follow down this kind of staircase, which kind of bends and weaves at a certain point with these kind of trees lining the edge of it, and you kind of come down to this bit where you see like in this drop off to the side, and like next to you, you see these kind of 7 pillars, kind of in a kind of square formation around this kind of stone pad with similar runes to the ones you found in front of the 4 bird statues. But it doesn't seem to see anything. And then further down the stairs is a small house and some other things. Up to you to rummage around if you want.
A small house.
Similar to the ones that you were camping out in the.
Does it look run down and crappy?
This one doesn't look ransacked, but it does look bad.
Investigation.
Alright, make an investigation check.
15 plus 3.
80.
Can I investigate?
Sure.
I'll investigate.
I shall investigate the investigators.
I want to see
12.
if there's anything around.
Okay.
To see if there's any living things around.
11.
Where did you say this hut was?
Hiding.
So basically, there's kind of 2 bits. There's the bit with this kind of pad with these 7 like kind of shoulder high pillars of stone, and then there's a small set of stairs that lead down to this kind of lower shelf with on the side of it you see this kind of what would, if it was by water, would have been a pier, but like it's just a bit of wood that kind of sticks off into the void.
Of course.
I've just realised Smicks like and the kobolds live here.
Yeah.
I turn
No.
to Smick and go, "Do you know these houses?"
He shakes his head.
Of course.
I think they live.
They live in the mountain, not on it.
They may have come out and had a little peek, seen what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, the house seems it's in relatively good nick. Like it seems to be like it's made of the same kind of materials. It's kind of green terracotta with these kind of darker stakes on top, and the kind of mesh windows, wooden door. But the insides more look like, instead of being ransacked, this one looks like it's been like someone kind of neatly packed all their stuff away and took it with them. But yeah, so like around there, though, like so opposite the house, you see this kind of pier, and you also see like between like the pier doesn't like just jut off into the void. Like there is something in front of it, but there's this kind of like below you see this kind of where it's kind of the rocks kind of split away, and you see this kind of large outcropping of rock. But between that and there, you see this kind of like this is a large, like maybe 10-foot across lump of stone that is perfectly suspended in midair with nothing, like it doesn't move. It's covered. It's like got snow on it, and it seems to be sitting there, seemingly attached to anything.
What, floating?
It's just floating there.
Yeah, we're not moving. The touch is between these 2 decimal.
Crook hit it.
Can I like pick up a rock and throw it at the rock to see if it moves?
It bounces off and doesn't do anything.
Oh, okay.
The rock stays stable.
Crook, hit it.
Sure.
What are you hitting it with?
Before he hits it, can I poke at it and try and work out how magical it is?
Can I do an Arcana check?
I like how me and Valencia are like, Crook, hit it.
I was going to go and kick it.
Alright, both of you can make a
It's floating.
It's about like 3 or 4 foot out from where you're standing. Like the edge of the gap about that wide.
Can I reach with my axe?
Yeah, probably.
Right, I can't reach with my axe then. Yes.
I got
What did
16.
I got 12.
Okay. You guys don't really know. Like it's probably magic, but like not something like you've
It's
seen.
magic.
You've seen like
Probably
Lucifer
magic.
like float around, but even he seems to like wobble a bit in midair. This thing seems like stuck still.
Mm.
And as Crook goes up to fucking mash it with his axe, you see him kind of like swing, and like as the kind of blade cuts in, he scatters snow, and like the axe just kind of skitters off and doesn't really like it's like hitting rock. But it doesn't seem like you kind of like the axe makes like a ringing noise that bounces off, and the rock doesn't seem to kind of react in any way.
When can I use insight?
Insight is on creatures or people.
Okay.
So like that, like for example, if you wanted, so if Lucifer was lying to you, you could be like, oh, I want to make a check to see if he's like lying or whatever.
Okay.
Or like you
Would
could,
that go against my charisma or
you
deception?
would make a deception check.
Okay.
But inter-party checks are trying to keep to a minimum because it's like they'd be like, oh, I'm gonna fucking kill your character. It's like, don't do that, please don't. It's like it's fair for things like grapples and stuff, but like avoid. It's kind of thing like I think it makes sense that like if you tell a lie to someone, that character has to decide whether they're telling the truth or not, as opposed to like you rolling and being like, oh, the dice told me they're lying. But that's up to you. Yeah, insight is useful for like it's basically reading body language and speech patterns. So it's like if they're nervous, like if you think like, oh, this person looks shifty, are they like on edge or are they like calm or whatever, and stuff like that.
Okay.
Lucifer would be like the hardest
Nice,
person to
plus
read,
five.
then.
Kind of, yeah. But he's high for different reasons. So, yeah. What are you guys up to?
So
I'm
we're just
staring
going
at the rock.
So is there anyone else to go
Can I
past this
actually-
floating rock?
There's another like outcropping there where you can't see what like there's a path that leads off from there, but like there seems to be but there's a couple of trees there and there's a statue there.
I'm gonna go up there.
Okay.
I'll follow, I guess.
So make a athletics check to leap the gaps between.
You're going to fall.
Can I look down and see if there's a bottom?
Oh
I don't
my
think I
god.
am. 26.
Yeah. So like.
Yeah, so you just like do front flips.
You kind of like clip your axe back onto your back and fucking like Kratos style, fucking well more Terminator I guess. Like charge. So you get the run up, charge the gap, leap and kind of bound like only 1 foot touching the stone and leap to the side.
No.
I watch Crook do this and go, nope, and just walk off.
Nice.
Can I like try and touch the stone? Just touching it.
I mean, if you reach out, like you probably have to lie down because it's about 4 feet away from you.
Well, I just meant like if like
You jumped it.
we haven't actually like attacked it, have we?
Well, you just did!
Oh right, yeah. Never mind.
And then you bounced off of its foot, so and it didn't seem to move.
I guess fireball at it.
Alright, like you
Really?
you melt the snow and like scorch a bit of the stone, but it doesn't seem to like move.
Can I just go and look at
Well,
the house
I'm
for
stumped.
anything?
Sorry, what?
Can I just go in the house and look for anything?
It seems pretty bare.
Oh, yes,
Like
we can do that.
most of the things have been like stripped out of it. There's obviously like some of the obviously the furniture's been left behind, but the any personal belongings that would have been there seem to be gone. And it looks lived in. Like it doesn't seem like a new house that someone's built and maybe abandoned. Like someone was living there that has left since.
They don't really choose a very good place to live. If we're honest.
Is there anything to do with the rock outside, or?
Basically, so the rock there's a rock floating. There's a big kind of splinter of rock that's probably at least like 60 to 90 feet across. It's a big piece of rock that's like kind of flushed out from the mountainside that hasn't like shorn off. It's mainly there's been like there's a gap that's been eroded between them. And this rock seems to be suspended in that gap.
Right.
Like it's difficult to see past that the other big rock because of the like the snow's picking up. But
So to my jumps, what can I see then in that area?
make a perception or investigation check.
Do for.
It's all good and well that you did that jump, but you do have to make it back.
It's good, but I'll be fine. Oh yeah, back to shit. Anyway, 11.
No, that's enough. So, as you kind of have a look around, you see kind of like this much larger kind of metal plate set into the stone, bizarrely. And as you kind of walk over to it, you nearly trip up under the snow. But as you kick it over, you see like these 4 kind of large kind of mounds in the snow. And as you brush it off, you see. It's their skeletal fingers, and you look down, and you're standing right above the Titan skulls,
Oh shit.
which is it's clinging onto like you can see like there are like little as you brush the snow away, you can see there's it's almost kind of clawed into the rock. There's like striations where the fingers were, but it's just kind of limply hanging there now, and you can see its skull maybe like 30 or 40 feet beneath you.
That's terrifying.
So is this the same one or a different one?
It looks the same one, the pose is similar.
Oh.
Nice.
Yeah, you're standing over the Titan skeleton, and yeah, in front of you see this kind of, again, similarly like the snow doesn't cover it, but this metal kind of, it's kind of like about like 10 feet across with this, yeah, there's like a inlay bit with 10 feet across, and then around that as well, like a couple feet around that, there's also kind of patchwork of metal sheets with kind of small, very dim lights on it.
Right.
Interesting.
How tall is this thing in like feet as an example?
The Titan.
Yeah.
It's difficult to estimate. The fingers alone are about that part of the finger is at least like maybe like 5 to 7 feet long on the finger. But like you can't really like fathom
Big
how
boy.
large the rest of the thing is. It's massive.
Right. So there's some lights.
Yes.
I'm gonna go towards the lights.
Okay.
Don't go towards the light,
I'm
Crook.
going towards the lights.
I'm watching Crook from
What are the rest of you guys? Because he kind of disappears around a corner as he does that. What are the rest of you guys doing?
Can I try, like, roll the rock? Like, we haven't tried actually, like, I know we've hit it, but it's not necessarily pulled the rock or anything.
I want to follow
Like,
Crook.
maybe it'll roll and affect something.
Are you going to jump on it, or are you just going to like try and poke at it with something?
Just use my hand and go like that.
Yeah, I'm not going to have you make a roll. Like, it doesn't budge.
Okay. It was worth a shot.
But yeah.
It's got some significance.
I am going to see Crook go around the corner and follow.
Okay. Make a acrobatics to jump the gap.
Acrobatics or what? Athletics?
Yes.
10, 14.
That's enough.
Yay!
It's not a difficult jump. It's more like being careful not to skid on the snow. The rock's quite big, and the gap's only like 3 or 4 feet across. So.
I like how we say don't split up and we basically split up.
Well, I'm going to counter it by also jumping across the gap.
Athletics or acrobatics?
Acrobatics. 15. I shouldn't have rolled that so close.
Yeah, you managed to clear it with relative ease.
Sorry, people listening.
That leaves
That includes like.
Lucifer and.
Well, we've got him
Valencia
coughing, me sniffing.
on the
It's
opposite
fine.
side.
Oh.
Yeah, so as you guys join Crook, you see the same thing that he saw. Like you see he's clear with the snow now, so you can clearly see the fingers, which are massive. They're about a foot. They're like a foot wide and like 5 or 6 feet long.
Hoover was like, cool.
Each of the top bits. And as you peer over, you can see the rest of the skeleton kind of.
Is there like something past there, or is that like a dead end?
Such a shame there's no cameras, because I absolutely would have taken a picture. Just like, click.
Yeah.
Right, so did we even make it?
Yeah.
Move around barrier with me. So you can see crouched over this kind of metal kind of thing on the ground that seems to have like small blinking lights on it.
Hoover's hopeful it could be another
We're
crystal.
like the least athletic.
It's like she runs to him.
I
There's no
know.
handle on this one.
Didn't we be in a situation like this and both nearly die before?
Exactly my point. I'm like so close to just casting levitate.
You do have it, so like, yeah, like, you could jump, and then if you fail,
I was going to say
Yeah.
before when you said you were going to touch it, and I'm like, he'll work it out. He'll levitate himself.
yeah, you could hold action to like if you fall, reaction cast levitate. So
I'm just gonna roll to see if I can.
okay.
What, are you going to jump to it?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, athletics or acrobatics.
So you're going to hold your action now.
What'd you get? What's the total?
5.
Okay, yeah, you fall.
No levitation done with this shit.
Yeah, you fall.
And
about-
it lasts like an hour, doesn't
it
it?
does last about an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you like, as you feel yourself falling, you kind of like summon the kind of elemental winds.
You just go,
around you,
nope.
I'm just
Levitate
fucking
midair.
dope.
Kind of like almost a bit like Mission Impossible style with like the rope, but like you're just like floating in midair.
Last second above the spikes.
Yeah, Valencia, you see him kind of like plunge down, like, cloud kind of passes through, like, oh no, is he dead? It's like he's just kind of hanging like.
It's like all those videos on YouTube of like a cat failing to jump.
Yeah.
Except the cat then starts flying.
At least I'll like have some form of advantage if we go into combat like near in the future.
Yeah, I'd say that you probably cleared the first jump and then like scuffed the second one.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
So what's past this? Is it a dead end or is it this the way we've got to go? Because I might just.
I just realised
either way, I'm perfectly
there was a
fine.
plank
I'm
just
just levitating
out.
everywhere.
That's
Because I'm
kind of the rocks.
thinking I might just chill with this rock, you know.
Okay. I'm sort of. Sorry, I'm having a bit of trouble visualising this. So.
Basically, you've got. So this is kind of. Imagine this is kind of like the pier.
Yeah.
Right? And then you've got rock in between it.
Yeah.
And then over here is like the rock thing that Crook is on currently.
Okay.
Kind of like,
And
We've gotten across somewhere where Creek is.
Okay.
yeah.
So you're all waiting for me. Are we going that way?
We're following him. We're not waiting for you. We don't know what's going on with you.
Yeah. No. Lucifer, I've seen that you managed to like bring yourself up far enough with the levitate that you can like pull yourself back onto the surface. Yeah. You have like. You realise that like the wind is still blowing, so you're kind of like gently being pushed aside.
Oh no!
You're just like drifting off.
You quickly like scrabble on and like grab onto a tree or something.
You may have to tie a rope around him.
Like a balloon.
Literally though, like he's just a heavy balloon. Yeah, you managed to get onto the platform, and you see the same thing they did. But as you kind of approach the thing in the floor, you see kind of like a change in the lighting. You don't know why. But it seems to kind of light up and respond to your being there.
Can I touch it?
Touching it doesn't seem to do anything, but like
Put the crystal on it.
What?
Touch it with the crystal.
Okay, I'll touch it with the crystal, I guess. I don't know what it exactly responds to.
so like you see, so basically like as the as you kind of like take the crystal out of your like pockets or backpack, whatever.
Or wherever the
Just in
hell
the
Lucifer's
old
hiding
band
it.
of the
And kind of bring it close to the kind of panel. You see, like even before it touches it, like this kind of podium, like plinth comes up, like made of metal, with a little kind of crystal display on it, which kind of loosely, like there's language that you can't read, but it has like loosened walls which kind of indicate kind of like up and down. But the up one seems to be like kind of shaded out.
I mean, press the button.
Yeah, what?
Does
I want to press the
Valencia
down one.
Does the Valencia come across?
Hmm?
Are you
Are you
coming across?
coming across or what? I'm just floating on this like pedestal, like chilling.
You know, I really don't want to risk it. I feel like I'm going to die.
We'll stay there with Schmick then.
Oh yeah, Spick's still with you.
I feel like I should jump back
Actually,
actually.
Spick would follow you. He's gonna try and jump.
Oh god, no, please.
Oh
no, Smick.
god, are you joking?
You need to catch Smick.
Like Smeek is obsessed with Ruben. Yeah.
What's his acrobatics?
Probably not bad. His dexterity's not too bad.
Okay.
Well, to be fair, he's made it this far.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'll just chill with the rock, I think. Floating
His
the
dex
rock.
is +2.
Okay, yeah. So he's got +2 to the roll. It's not a difficult check, but available. Oh, he just about clears it. So like, you see like as you kind of turn around, you're like, oh, where's Smick? Oh shit! And you see like running around, leaps to the rock, just about like skids, and like you think he's gonna fall off the other end, but then he kind of like pushes off the last moment and manages to catch
Oh, what's in him?
As he grabs onto the ledge, can I like grab him and pull him?
Yeah. So yeah, Smick manages to just about make it across.
He is our baby.
Right, can I keep going, moving forward?
Suppose he's similar like a dog. I'm gonna have to tell him to stay.
Right, I'll jump here. What happens if I fall? Do I die?
Probably.
So you don't know.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
the cloud's kind of obscure, like thing. Like you don't know, like it could be 1,000-foot drop, it could be a 10-foot drop. You don't know.
Oh, let's just go for it.
I just,
Two.
oh my god,
Oh,
he's
shit.
dead.
What's your bonus?
0.
Okay.
You're dead.
So on the kind of first jump, you kind of slip and make a dexterity saving throw.
Where's the thing for that?
What saving throws?
That's in there.
Dexterity save throw. Oh, +0. Cool.
Oh no.
13.
Okay, yeah. So as you kind of slip and fall, you manage to just about grab onto the edge of the rock. You're however dangling there. You manage to get a firm hold, so you got both hands on, but you're currently suspended.
Okay. I scream for help.
Okay.
I'm not going back.
Yeah. You hear Valencia scream somewhat from a downward angle, screaming for help. I fall off the rock.
Well, I'm going to tell Schmidt to
I'm-
stay.
I'm right. Okay. I was gonna be like,
I
I mean,
like
don't
right
all run at once,
here,
guys. You
so I
know.
can just float over to her and just pick her up.
Just a reminder, I am your healer.
Exactly my point.
Well, we've gone this far without you.
Where?
Where?
Every time you've not been in.
Well, you paid for me.
Yeah.
I don't think you ever healed though.
No, because you guys were fine.
Yeah, but what about the fight when you're not fine?
Guys, it's
I'm pretty sure I've
a
rezzed you,
party
actually.
member.
At some point.
Yeah, I think you did.
No, I think you tried and you failed.
No, I did. I rezzed you.
Did it?
Not
Yeah.
res, but
No, I stopped you from dying.
yeah.
I think maybe because
When the Shadow Mastiff hit, you were like.
No, you didn't. I think I'm pretty sure I rolled as a success.
Guys, it does not matter. It's a party member. You're really gonna let her die? Don't think so.
Fine, I'll go back.
Do you know our party members?
Yes, I
Thank
do.
you.
I'm
Well,
the
I'll
insane
go back.
one, and I'm the one getting her.
I'm also the one that blasted you out of a tree.
Yeah,
If
you
anyone
are.
help,
You don't care about anyone.
Valencia.
That's the point.
Oh, fuck. Again.
What's-
Right.
What's he doing?
Try and pull
Oh, is he getting her?
You're
Yeah.
strong though,
Fair
aren't you?
enough.
23.
Yeah, you easily you're one hand fucking
And she goes over the shoulder.
To be fair, you probably would have been the better one because he is stronger.
Yeah.
He has to lift up.
And with Crook 7, you both managed to clear the second jump as well.
Okay. Thanks, Crook.
No problem.
So the plinth is kind of still there with this little plate, little down arrow on it.
I want to push the down button.
All right.
Yeah, see, you would, but I'm the one there, so I'm gonna press the up button just to spite you.
We're both
Yeah,
there.
yeah, that's
The up
it.
button's scratched out.
Yeah.
You can still press it, look at you.
You tap it, nothing happens.
Okay,
I wanna press the
down
down
it
one.
is.
Okay, so
We're both there like.
how many of you are standing on the platform?
Well, I'm not even standing on it, I'm currently floating.
Well, you would have had to get close to use the crystal, so
Yeah, yeah.
you're probably over it. However, you're levitating, so nothing will happen to you.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be like, everything's going down, and I'm just there, like,
Yeah.
okay,
You
bye.
see, kind of a white light kind of outline the seam of this platform, and kind of hear a hiss,
Oh god, are we on an elevator?
and then it starts slowly
Probably.
descending.
Oh crap.
You have about a few seconds if you want to jump onto it or not, or otherwise it would leave without some of you. You're currently hovering over it.
Yeah, like, it's not gonna do anything. I'm gonna, like, slowly follow it just in case.
Okay.
Like, a couple of feet above the
It
actual
doesn't seem
platform.
to it doesn't seem to be descending super fast. It's not like one of the. It doesn't act like the panels that dropped out beneath you before.
No, I just meant, like, if it drops us into a room or something, like, there might be on anything there. I'm gonna be staying above it just in case. Still descending though.
It can the platform's wide enough to fit all of you on it, but it's a question of who's actually on it and who's gonna try and get there in time, or you can just wait at the top.
I'm on the platform, I think.
Okay. Because you're investigating, I think.
I'm on it.
Is Valencia been pulled up now?
Yeah.
Right.
Valencia.
Right, can I jump back then now?
Are you going to go away from the platform that's descending to the wall?
No, I'm staying on it. No, I need to get to it, don't I?
That's the place so you pull them up onto.
Right.
So you're with everyone else with the Titan skeleton.
Okay, right. Are we all going to stay on this platform? It's going down.
Well, you have to go down if you want to go down.
After what?
Either way,
Stand
it's
up.
going down.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
going down with the Abbey. Like,
Yeah.
Sure, I'm holding a stand on it.
Smick like grabs onto Reaver as she steps on the platform, like kind of holds onto her.
It's like grabbing my leg.
Yeah. But let's see if you're gonna follow them down, or are you gonna stand
Yeah.
there?
No, I'll go with them.
Okay. Yeah. So as you
If I kill all the party now just by doing this.
yeah. So like the platform kind of like kind of descends, well, like it increases in speed, but not to the point where it's like particularly alarming. You see like there's kind of like rivets in the walls, and you see like there's lights, and this is like what we realise now is like a polished metal surface in this shaft. And you start like you descend more and more rapidly, and Lucifer, you can't start snorting to keep up. You're like, whoop, like slowly like levitating downwards as much as you can. At some point, I think like someone either reaches up your hand or you like grab onto someone's like weapon or something. Just to tag along.
Probably Crook,
But
if I'm being honest.
yeah, you feel like Lucifer's hand on your shoulder, like in a death grip as you try not being left behind. Probably holding on to one of like the javelins, I imagine.
Yeah, with the heads on.
Yeah. And yeah, after a few seconds, like of going down this like surprisingly deep shaft, you find yourself. Let's pull up my notes. Cars. It's in. 1 second.
Sorry in advance, guys.
All right. Yeah.
To be
so-
fair, I shouldn't even be sorry. You all picked to come with.
Yeah, so you kind of you descend into kind of this chamber, which you like seems to be like it's partially lit from like the light from above the shaft. But it's also got as you reach the bottom, you see kind of like lights in the ceiling. These crystal panels kind of flicker and turn on, and you kind of find yourself like at the end of the corridor. Kind of stone floor, and kind of like along the wall, bizarrely like bookcases. Some are filled with books. Others, you notice, are filled with like fucking bird skulls. Some of them are like kenku size as well. But yeah, no, you see like along the corridor there is kind of these bookcases, kind of from floor to ceiling. Occasionally there's rugs or tapestries on the walls and the floor. And yeah, no, it's kind of like it kind of bends around the corner as you descend down into the space. And you see like so as you kind of come into the room, like the platform you're on didn't seem to have any supports going into the room. It just kind of like floats down and seamlessly kind of like fits into the floor. There's no kind of like struts or pulleys that you'd expect from something like that.
Well,
Or science, who knows?
magical science.
Quite possibly.
AKA the gun.
Can I do a perception check to see if there's any ooky spookies in the room?
Sure.
Still need to find out about the crystal.
23.
Yeah, so basically like, let me just check.
Natural 20 as well.
Yeah, it was a natural 20.
Yeah.
Plus 3.
You boys, you got your hearing airs on.
Most, not all the time, but
I'm paying attention now.
Alright, so like, not like super close, but you can kind of like hear from like around the corner, kind of like bickering. And like it kind of sounds, some of it's kind of in like the voices of like similar to the cultists. Others are kind of like in a kind of different kind of tenor, a different like tone than what you're used to. But like neither of them are communicating in a language you speak.
Okay. Guys, there's someone arguing around the corner in a different language. Let's go closer and see if any of you can understand.
that would probably be a good idea. Sneaky, sneaky.
I'm not being sneaky. Crew's getting really pissed off now. He's not in a fight with anyone yet. In quite a long time.
If these are peaceful guys, I swear to you,
Yeah, 8 hours. It's
Well,
far
one
too
of them
fucking
sounds
long.
like cultists.
it might be peaceful.
They're
It
naughty.
might be. I'm a peaceful
I hope they're
cult.
not peaceful, otherwise I can't kill them. That's against what I do. That.
Exactly. So
Guess
if
you're
they're
morals.
peaceful,
Let's actually see what they look like first. identified,
Yeah,
and then
go
decide
like
to kill
that, around
them.
the corner.
Right. So are you gonna like just jump around, or are you gonna try and like peek?
Sneak.
What?
Sneaky weaky.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell Schmick to wait in the hall.
Alright.
That's probably wise.
Make a persuasion check real quick.
Oh, for God's sake!
You have advantage because he's loyal to you. He doesn't want to leave on.
He's your boy.
What am I doing? Persuasion.
Persuasion with advantage.
Sorry, 14.
Yeah. So like, it takes a bit of convincing, but like you're like, stay, and he's like, fine.
Fucking
Jesus
sick.
Christ, he's like my dog.
Yeah. But he's like, I'm gonna protect you. I'm your real guard.
I'm your fucking dog.
Royal guard.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
So like, yeah, but anyone who's trying to peek make stealth checks.
Oh, I think I should stay back and let someone else do
You're
it.
still angry
I'll
with
still-
Schmick, aren't I?
What the fuck?
I rolled a 1.
Oh boy.
I've got a +1 to stealth. Why the
I'm
fuck
going
do I have
first
that?
either way.
No, I'm gonna stay back because I'll just alert people.
Yeah, same.
I mean, I just
gonna say
alerted
what?
everyone.
Why did you roll?
Because I wanted to be sneaky.
You're
Right.
stealthy. Oh, you are +1, I
Yeah.
suppose.
I'll
But the best person would have been Reaver.
I'll do the stealth, but I'm not going in the room.
Right, who is it then? Oh, what are they?
Reaver is going to
Okay.
stealthy, wealthy.
15.
15. Okay. So,
Nice.
so who's actually going up to look? Is it just you? two?
Just Reaver.
I was, and then I rolled a 1.
I think you probably also go with them, but something catastrophe happened.
Yeah, fair.
All right. So,
God.
So we're staying back with these two.
yeah. So you kind of like definitely kind of like using the kind of like the moth-eaten carpet to kind of like hide the echo of your steps. You kind of manage to like get around like to the corner and like kind of peek around, and you see kind of like a group of how many are there? How many are there?
20.
And then Beryl comes in and goes, "What can you say?"
Like, fully stepping around the corner.
Yeah.
Just like, hey, what do you see? Oh.
So you see kind of one of these kind of hooded figures, these acolytes you've seen before, like arguing with two figures, like humanoid creatures that you don't really recognise. Like they're kind of like in, they kind of almost look goblinoid, but they're kind of like they've got this kind of dark, kind of mottled green fur.
They're hobgoblins.
With these, you don't know, for one, but like.
In other words, yes, but you don't know.
And these kind of like white eyes, but they've got this. Bizarrely, they've got like. It looks quite ill-fitting and kind of like hastily put on, but they've got these kind of jumpsuits on. They have kind of like pauldrons and like they hit like small plates and everything, like a helmet on. But they're also carrying this like, kind of long metal. You don't know what it is, but like some kind of. They hold it like a weapon, but you've not seen one before.
God.
And there's two of those.
Well, the way he did that.
Yeah, like.
That's how they're holding it.
I'm thinking. So.
And then I step around the corner.
So like so Burial's also like, aha, I see what you're doing, and comes up. And,
Oh
like,
my
sits
god.
But like as you kind of like trip on the rug, and then like crash head first into one of the bookcases that's got skulls in it.
Oh,
and, like,
fuck's sake.
They just clatter to the floor, and immediately the acolyte just like turns around, stares at you, points at you, and kind of snaps at the like the two other figures in a language you don't recognise, and they both kind of like pick up their weapons and roll initiative.
Oh shit.
I apologise.
Can I back off?
Is it just them two, or?
Everyone roll initiative because
Oh my God.
if you
Oh,
want
I'm running right up now.
if you like to intervene.
Where's
I
initiative?
cannot access my
11.
spells when I'm on low power mode.
Oh, brilliant.
I don't suppose I'll be able to swap places
Oh
with...
my god.
What did you get?
One.
I don't suppose I'll be able to swap places with anyone near a power circle because my phone is very low.
13.
There is no power changing.
There's one right there.
There's one right here.
Yes,
What did they work?
It's the end.
Steph, what
Yeah.
did you
Yes,
get?
they do work.
Okay.
11.
Charge my phone the whole time.
What did you get?
8.
8.
I got 13.
Oh, it's like 5 o'clock. I'm gonna have to go soon.
19.
Oh,
You
I
can
didn't
you can end it here if you want.
I didn't add my thing.
Oh.
Oh.
That's it, you guys.
Plus 2. I actually got 13.
Let me write down the initiative first.
I have.
I mean, might as well. It's better if we had our healer with us.
Yeah.
You got 8. Luke.
So,
Yep.
Crook, what did you get initiative?
30.
What is this going to do? Is this going to like? Oh, is this just choosing which term for the combat?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah.
Lucifer?
8.
Listen.
1.
Oh boy.
Spicy.
Goodness me. Right. So. You're all saying it's a good job you've got your healer, but I remember being left on that mountain for far too long, so
Hey,
that's all I'm saying.
I still came and did it.
Was I the
Actually-
one actually fighting for you? Yes, I was. So
yeah, I remember.
I'm just saying we have a bond.
I know that
13.
Valencia's been nice today, but you forget that secretly she's a bit of a bitch, so...
That's one. What's your district modifier?
We'll come together.
Thank you.
That's one.
+2.
Okay.
I'm gonna cast Bless.
Yeah,
Psych.
I go first.
Bane.
Just for me.
At least give it to Crew. You can't actually say anything.
Eventually.
Didn't actually do it.
No, I'm joking.
Oh, someone
Well, I'm nice.
I think he.
Ew.
I know.
That's fun.
Nice.
It's not like it's been used to clean out toilets. It's just for the
Probably for that, but still.
Thank you.
So you don't forget it.
valuable.
Okay.
Which I'm guessing you did before I pulled it out.
I did.
Right, we're swapping it then.
Yes,
Yes.
which one get initiative for the other dudes?